get how many votes they will get. But whatever votes they get, if you look at it, they are fishing in the same pond as the anti-BJP parties, including the Congress. And if 8 of the 13 seats where their candidates are contesting were held by the Congress, then obviously whatever votes they take away from the Congress party. To that extent, AIMIM, whatever it gets, is going to be disadvantaged Congress party insofar as these elections are concerned.
I think, because Abhishek, you've touched a very important point about the opposition here. The AIMIM is just one of the opposition parties, the others being the Congress, Nupur, and obviously the Aam Aadmi Party this time around. And a lot of important insights into, Abhishek, how the Congress has operated this election season and the Aam Aadmi Party. And there are regions, there are pockets, especially in Saurashtra, some also in central Gujarat, where there are reports that there is anti-incumbency against sitting Congress MLAs. And a lot of the people there, Nupur, actually believe that the Congress itself has not done work. So I do not know whether, you will still have people voting for the Congress, considering that there is that voter disconnect. The Congress has said we've kept our campaign low-key, but what does that mean? That's again something will be reflected only on the 8th. But let's see if we can also get in Harsha quickly. Because Harsha, remember, also has been covering a lot of these rallies. She's been speaking to a lot of these opposition netas. Harsha, when you talk of the opposition, why is the opposition completely absent? It's extremely difficult to take on a party that has been in the saddle for 27 years. Because this is the BJP, and the BJP fights that there is there is no tomorrow. They put everything on it. But the Congress only had to gain, the Aam Aadmi Party only had to gain. What have we seen them doing?
See, in the most of the part of the campaigns and rallies, we have seen the Congress being absent, and we have seen Aam Aadmi Party, the kind of election wave we saw amongst the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, which they projected when coming from Delhi to Gujarat. We saw senior leaders like Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh, Raghav Chatta. They did a lot of door-to-door campaigns in Gujarat. An initial wave we saw. They were the only ones. They were saying that there's election wave, and Aam Aadmi Party is creating a difference here in Gujarat. But in many pockets, if I talk about opposition by AIMIM, fielding its candidate in the 13 assembly
जी ईशुदान जी आप आज वोट करने आए क्या लगता है आपको
अभी 200 मीटर नहीं हुआ अभी 200 मीटर नहीं हुआ
ईशुदान जी अब हो गया
इसलिए नहीं
All right, those are pictures we are getting of Isudan Gadvi. Those were pictures of Isudan Gadvi. Now, of course, on air is Prime Minister's mother, Heeraben, and she has voted just about 15 minutes back in Gandhinagar. And Isudan Gadvi, of course, is also the Aam Aadmi Party's chief ministerial face, so to say. He's contesting from Jam Khambaliya in Jamnagar district in Saurashtra. Because that's his home constituency, he might not gain much traction given the fact that it's an Ahir-dominated seat and Isudan Gadvi does not come from that community. Aam Aadmi Party had carried out a Twitter poll to decide their chief minister candidate, and Isudan Gadvi won that. Between him and Gopal Italia, who happens to be the state convener, is contesting from Surat to Katargam seat. In the pictures now, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, he had voted about an hour back in Naranpura area. That's his home constituency. That's from where he was an MLA in Gujarat. All right, let's listen to Union Home Minister Amit Shah.
आप मांगी શકશો કારણ કે આપણે જો ઘરમાં બેઠા રહેશું તો પછી એવું થશે કે સજ્જન લોકો ચૂંટાયા કરતાં દુર્જનો વધારે આવી જશે અને પછી આપણે અપેક્ષા રાખીશું ભ્રષ્ટાચાર મુક્ત ગુજરાતની પછી આપણે અપેક્ષા રાખીશું શિક્ષણ ફી ઘટાડવાની પછી આપણે અપેક્ષા રાખીશું આરોગ્યની સારી સુવિધાની સારા રસ્તાની સારી સ્કૂલોની એ બહુ જ કઠિન રહેશે.
We'll work on health, we'll work on good roads. I have to appeal to people of Gujarat
નવદંપતિ જ્યારે લગ્ન
They
કરે
come
છે
out
ત્યારે
and vote in
વિચાર
good
કરે છે
numbers.
કે મારો બાળકને હું સારી સ્કૂલમાં ભણાવીશ, એને સારું બનાવીશ. તો એના માટે તમારે વિચાર કરવું પડશે કે તમારે આપણી ભારતની જરૂરિયાત શું છે, ભારત કેમ નંબર 1 નથી બની શક્યું અત્યાર સુધી. 75 વર્ષની આઝાદી,
You will have to think
75 વર્ષની
what the
આઝાદીમાં
nation
આપણે
needs.
શું જોયું છે. 75 વર્ષની આઝાદી, જાપાન,
After
અમેરિકા,
75 years of independence, what do we need?
કારણ કે આપણા બાળકને સારું શિક્ષણ મળ્યું નથી. આપણા
If America has gone ahead, what has taken it ahead?
બધાને તક નથી મળતી. અંગ્રેજી
Our people are
શીખવાની,
talented, our
સમજવાની.
children are talented.
તો આ બધી વ્યવસ્થાઓ પરિવર્તનની માટે શિક્ષણ ખૂબ જરૂરી છે. તો શિક્ષણ માટે કોઈ પણ બીમાર
For
માણસ બને
change,
છે, ગમે ત્યારે અકસ્માત થાય છે, તો પહેલા
for
એને
these
હેલ્થની તકલીફ
arrangements,
પડે છે, ખિસ્સા ધોવાય છે.
Education is needed.
તો સરકારોની જવાબદારી હોય છે કે
And then you need to
આરોગ્ય સેવા
focus on health.
સંપૂર્ણ જગ્યાએ પ્રાઇવેટમાં પણ ફ્રી હોવી જોઈએ. તો એ એટલા માટે કારણ કે તમારી બચત એમાંથી ખર્ચાઈ જાય છે.
Complete health,
મોંઘવારી
free
આસમાન
health.
છે, મોંઘવારીમાં રાહત મળવી જોઈએ. આ બધાને લઈને મારી અપીલ છે સૌને
Health
કે
services,
ઘરમાંથી
that
બહાર
is.
નીકળીને મતદાન કરો. મતદાન સ્વયંભૂ સમજી વિચારીને કરો. કોણે શું કહે છે ભાઈબંધ દોસ્તાર એનાથી મતદાન નહીં કરતા. મતદાન તમે પોતે શું અનુભવો છો. આજે હું અને મારી પત્ની ધર્મપત્ની બંને મતદાન કર્યું છે. એમને પણ અધિકાર છે કોને મત આપવો છે, મને પણ અધિકાર છે કોને મત આપવો છે. તમે કોઈ એક વાતને લઈને કે એક પક્ષને લઈને એવી રીતે મતદાન નથી થતા હોતા. મતદાન સ્વયંભૂ તમારા સંશોધન કરીને, તમે પોતે સમજી વિચારીને, તમારા બાળકનું ભવિષ્ય સમજી વિચારીને મતદાન કરજો. નહીં તો પછી 5 વર્ષ
You can go
સુધી
to-
એ જે શાસકો મતદાન કરીને ચૂંટીને મોકલ્યા છે એ તમારી ઉપર રાજ કરે છે કે સેવા કરે છે, એના ઉપર જઈને મતદાન કરો.
ભાજપ, કોંગ્રેસ અને આમ આદમી પાર્ટીની કેટલી સીટો આવશે?
આમ આદમી પાર્ટી, મને ભાજપ કોંગ્રેસમાં હું એટલા માટે નથી પડતો કે એની પાર્ટીઓ છે, એ એને વિચારવાનો છે. અમારો રસ્તો અમને ખબર છે. પહેલા તબક્કામાં આમ આદમી પાર્ટીની 89માંથી 51+ સીટ આવી રહી છે. બીજા તબક્કામાં પણ અમે અપેક્ષા રાખી રહ્યા છીએ કે મિનિમમ 52થી વધુ સીટો આમ આદમી પાર્ટીની આવી શકે એવી સ્થિતિમાં અમે છીએ. પછી તો જનતા જનાર્દન છે. જનતા જનાર્દન મુદ્દાને આધારિત, બાળકોને આધારિત, આ પહેલી વખત કામની રાજનીતિ થઈ છે, એના આધારિત મતદાન કરે છે. તો અમને અપેક્ષા છે કે આટલું થશે.
People are God.
આજ
Whatever
आज
BJP
मैं
has to
और
do,
मेरी
BJP will do.
धर्मपत्नी
Whatever
से-
we have to do, we will do.
अहमदाबाद के घाटलोड़िया में हमारा जो
Now he is
मतदान का
speaking in
अधिकार
Hindi.
मिला है उसका उपयोग किया है, हमने मतदान किया है. लोग भी बहुत उत्साहित दिख रहे हैं, लोग भी उम्मीद के साथ मतदान कर रहे हैं. मैं लोगों को अपील करता हूं कि आप घर से बाहर निकलिए, वोटिंग बूथ तक जाइए, मतदान करिए. मतदान लोकतंत्र का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो हमें मिला है अधिकार वो है. हम अगर लोकतंत्र में राजाशाही और अभी तक जो चला आया उससे और लोकशाही में फ़र्क ये है कि हमको मतदान करने का अधिकार मिला है. हम अपने नेता को चुन सकते हैं. आप चुनिए जिसको भी आपको लगे, हम ये नहीं कह रहे हैं, लेकिन आप मतदान करने जाइए. अगर करने जाओगे तो आप जवाब मांग पाओगे नेताओं का. अगर आप बैठे रहोगे तो हो सकता है कि दुर्जन लोग बैठ जाएं सत्ता पर, और दुर्जन लोग बैठेंगे तो आपके लिए स्वाभाविक तौर पर अच्छी शिक्षा के लिए करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे, अच्छे स्वास्थ्य के लिए करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे. इसलिए उम्मीद के साथ मतदान जाइए. और दूसरा मैं अपील ये करता हूँ कि मतदान जाने से पहले एक बार आप हम फोड़िए कि हमारे बच्चों के लिए अच्छी शिक्षा कौन कर पाता है, अच्छे स्वास्थ्य की सुविधा है कि नहीं, करप्शन फ्री हमें चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए गुजरात, हमें कौन क्या कहता है, किस तरह से भाषण देता है, उससे वोटिंग नहीं. आज कितने देश आगे बढ़ चुके हैं. जापान जैसा देश जो कि हिरोशिमा नागासाकी पर हमला हुआ और ख़त्म हो गए थे, फिर भी खड़े हो गए.
आप बोल रहे हैं
तो मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि वोटिंग उस तरीके से करिए. हमारे देश में अच्छी शिक्षा होनी चाहिए, हर बच्चे को अच्छी शिक्षा मिलनी चाहिए. हर अच्छी शिक्षा का अधिकार है. और अच्छी शिक्षा तभी मिल पाएगी जब हमारे नेताओं में विज़न होगा, हमारे नेता कुछ करने के लिए सक्षम होंगे. दूसरा है आरोग्य. कभी भी कहीं पे भी अकस्मात होता है, एक्सीडेंट होता है. तो जब एक्सीडेंट होता है तो हमें ज़रूरी नहीं कि सभी के पास पैसे होंगे, तो फ्री आरोग्य सेवा भी होनी चाहिए. उस हिसाब से आप पढ़कर देखिए और वोटिंग करने निकले.
the memorial that has been erected for J. Jayalalitha. A large crowd over there, so that's very interesting to see. AIADMK leaders, of course, have paid their respects as well earlier. The pictures on your screen are of Sasikala at the memorial that has been erected for Jayalalitha. Varshini joining us live from Chennai. Varshini, it is quite a big group of people over there that, of course, are behind Sasikala. So give us an overall sense of what we are witnessing.
See, this is the death anniversary of the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, J. Jayalalitha, and now that the AIADMK party is broken into several factions, one being the EPS Edapadi Palaniswamy's faction, another being the O. Pannirselvam faction, and the other one being TTV Dinakaran and VK Shashikala's faction. Each faction, along with their cadres, the party members, and the leaders are coming in huge numbers to the memorial to pay respects on her death anniversary, to commemorate her memorial day. Therefore, we can see huge crowds of people thronging here to the memorial at Marina Beach, and where she has been laid to rest here. Now, all the leaders are also coming one by one. First, it was Edapadi Palaniswamy with his cadres, then it was O. Pannirselvam. Now, we can see that VK Shashikala, along with her cadres, have gathered here to pay respects to the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and this is definitely intensifying as this battle for the ownership, the leadership of the AIADMK party is still going on, and there are so many hints here and there where these leaders give about forming teams yet again, whereas OPS, who spoke to Republic Today, also mentioned about how he hinted about his intentions to reunite with the Edapadi Palaniswamy faction once again, though Edapadi Palaniswamy has been giving his stand time and again about how he will not get back with OPS. OPS gave us a hint about how he wants to reunite so that they can work in the party back together. Though it is also notable that tomorrow in the Supreme Court we also have a hearing of the OPS case that is coming, and there will be very important arguments in the Supreme Court tomorrow. Therefore, it's a very intensified day for the party members and the leaders of the AIADMK party today.
All right, so as you're pointing out, of course, this is what has happened to the AIADMK. Three separate leaders, in a sense, emerging out of that party, which was led by J. Jayalalitha. Today, of course, is the 6th death anniversary of the former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, J. Jayalalitha. And as Varshini was pointing out earlier, of course, we had Edapadi Palaniswamy pay his respects to the former Chief Minister. Thereafter, of course, now we are seeing these pictures play out on our screens of her close confidant and someone who was by her deathbed, in a sense, Sasikala, also paying her respects to J. Jayalalitha. A huge number of crowds over there. J. Jayalalitha, of course, was someone who had an unprecedented following in Tamil Nadu politics. She was one of the stalwarts, the big names of Tamil Nadu politics, the numbers, of course, of the AIADMK cadres behind her. But now that seems to have split three ways, in a sense, isn't it, Varshini? You know, we've seen all these warring factions that emerged out of the AIADMK come in and pay their respects. But nevertheless, J. Jayalalitha remains a figure who had All right, we are now getting a big news break, in fact, even as these warring factions have been coming out to pay their respects to J. Jayalalitha. We are now hearing that OPS has hinted at reuniting with EPS. So that's a big breaking news that's coming in. And the timing of it is interesting as well. It is the 6th death anniversary of J. Jayalalitha. Let's go across to Varshini later, but let's play out this reaction first.
எங்களை பொறுத்தவரையில் அப்படியே ஒன்றுபட்டாதான் உண்டு வாழும்.
So Selvam says that according to his faction of people, they have decided that only if they reunite, come together, we can live peacefully. So he says that Ondru Pataldan Undu Valvum, which means coming together is the only best option for AIADMK, which is left, which he indirectly tells us about his intention to reunite with Edapadi K. Palaniswamy and work as one under one leadership once again, under the DO leadership once again. So that is exactly what O. Pannirselvam is trying to say, which means he is ready to get back with Edapadi K. Palaniswamy and we'll have to see. VK Shashikala is currently paying her homage, paying her respects to the former Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. We are at the memorial. There we can see huge number of cadres and supporters of VK Shashikala gathered to pay respects to the former Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. We know that Shashikala and J. Jayalalitha had a very, very close relationship, and now that VK Shashikala is also into politics, trying to take over the control of the AIADMK party, get back with O. Pannirselvam or Edapadi K. Palaniswamy and bring back a very important united front that the AIADMK party could put up is what Shashikala wants, and even she's been speaking about it time and again, and she's also been talking about how under her leadership she can bring back all the ways that AIADMK was previously with the leadership of J. Jayalalitha. Therefore, it is very important to note that VK Shashikala has also come down here just after Edapadi K. Palaniswamy and O. Pannirselvam to the memorial to pay her respects. And now that O. Pannirselvam has hinted at coming back together, it is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And tomorrow there is a hearing in the Supreme Court as well in the case that OPS had appealed for. Therefore, the next course of action from these leaders will be much awaited to see. It will be very interesting to see if at all any leaders are ready to unite again and work together under the dual leadership or single leadership, which will bring back the AIADMK together. Right now, though it is the main opposition party in the state, the strong front that it used to be is not still, still be able to see is what the people of the state feel. Therefore, these leaders coming back together would be the biggest, strongest front that the AIADMK party could put up. And now VK Shashikala is representing the Amma Makkal Munnetra Kazhagam party, the AMMK party, and TTV Dinakaran will also be here to pay his respects very soon. And we will also be trying to speak to VK Shashikala on what her thoughts are about, to coming back together as a united front.
Everybody will be asking then is that will they be able to set aside their political differences even if they were to come together? Because look at the rancor we've seen between all these leaders, from going to court to essentially, we remember that day when both the factions, so to say, almost came to blows at the AIADMK office. So is that something that's even possible after there's been so much animosity between all these people?
Well, definitely, yes, Nupur, it's not just in the top layer of the leadership now. It has definitely moved throughout the party. Even the cadre at the lowest level has, gone into separate ways. They have taken sides. And now, putting aside all the political differences and coming back together and working under one leadership or working together is going to be definitely difficult. But at the same time, to provide a strong opposition to the DMK government currently, a good leadership in AIADMK, some sort of a unity in the AIADMK is necessary. That is what the party is currently lacking, being the leading opposition party in the state. And since, even recently in the last assembly session when the EPS faction made a walkout, several decisions were made by the OPS faction. Therefore, it is not what a opposition party has to look like in a state. Therefore, coming back together or proving their majority is the only way that this party can gain back its lost strength and lost name is what we, the people of Tamil Nadu feel. And definitely this party, particularly AIADMK, is a party which has always thrived with a face, with a big leadership, with a very prominent leader, be it former Chief Minister MGR or Jayalalitha. So having another big face, big name is what this party needs right now, and that could be by the leaders coming back together, or one leader trying to prove the majority, or whatever the Supreme Court decides in the case hearing as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. But politics does make for strange bedfellows, and we don't know whether, you know, all these factions can actually unite. That's going to be extremely interesting. But as you pointed out, Varshini, one of the key things is to have a credible opposition, and that's something you know, that the DMK does not have in Tamil Nadu. So in a sense, do you think it's essentially necessity rather than choice that is driving these political choices that are now being made by EPS, OPS, and of course Sasikala? Varshini, if you can hear me, I think there was some audio trouble over there, but I'm going to put that question to you again. I was saying, do you think it's necessity rather than political choices that are making these three people come back together? Because the fact of the matter is that the DMK does not really have a credible opposition in Tamil Nadu anymore.
Definitely yes, Nupur. Not having a strong opposition in the state is definitely lacking in very important decision that has to be taken, in the state assembly. Though there are a lot of bills being passed, a lot of decisions being made, which lack of a strong opposition is definitely, making things difficult for the state of Tamil Nadu. As AIADMK party coming back together strong is the only way. And now we will be bringing you more updates and more details from the Jayalalitha's memorial about what is going to happen in AIADMK after a short commercial break.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbala's Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbala says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
आज के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की, कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं, और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election.
On the action-packed day in battleground Gujarat, Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel casted his vote. A confident Gujarat Chief Minister said that Bharatiya Janata Party will certainly come back to power with thumping majority.
आज दूसरे चरण का मतदान शुरू हुआ है। सब गुजरात के मतदार आज दूसरे चरण में भी शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से सब इसमें भाग लेंगे और भारी मतदान करेंगे। ये दफ़ा हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी पुराने सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ के सारे नंबर से ये चुनाव भी हम जीते।
He added that BJP will break previous records and form a government again in Gujarat. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic P-Mark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic P-Mark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Viewers, it's a final fight as the voting is underway for the second phase of Gujarat elections. 19.17% voter turnout till 11 a.m.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
Amid the Modi chants, PM cast his vote in Ahmedabad, the Lord's Election Commission for conducting peaceful polls. Home Minister Amit Shah, along with his family members, cast votes in Ahmedabad, appeals to first-time voters to step out to vote. It's a prestige battle in UP's Mainpuri, the seat vacant after Mulayam Singh Yadav's demise.
जो ब्रीफिंग है वो ये है कि समाजवादी पार्टी को वोट ना पड़ने दिया जाए।
Worker State Protest Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav alleges police stopping voters from casting their vote. And viewers, catch the biggest and the most accurate exit polls on Republic with India's #1 news team. Viewers, it's the battle for Gujarat, second phase of polling today, and extremely important phase as well. And Nupur is also joining us from our Mumbai studios. Nupur, today, in fact, is the second phase, and in the first phase, we saw a lot of voters on the ground. They had come out in quite large numbers. This time again, appealing to all the voters in Gujarat to come out in large numbers to cast their vote. Nupur.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, Shivangi, and good afternoon to all our viewers as well as our reporters who are joining us. We've been on it non-stop since 7 a.m. this morning, and I think we've got our reporters on the ground, Priyanka and Harsha, both of them still with us. Priyanka, coming to you first. Priyanka, we've been talking since the morning about the key issues that voters are facing. But I just wanted to ask you, is the polling percentage now picking up? It's nearly 1 o'clock. It's just about 4 hours to go before the polls now shut. Are you seeing people now queuing up more?
Nupur, I'll directly bring in some of the first-time voters that are joining me right now. This is the constituency of the Chief Minister, Bhupendra Patel. And we're being told that we're right outside, in fact, one of the booths where he will be passing by from as well, which is why we're standing here. But we do have some of the first-time voters, some of the normal, voters as well who are joining me right now. You voted for the first time today. What has been your experience? But also talking about the kind of push that the politicians have also been giving for youngsters to come out and cast their votes. How important is it?
It is very important. We are voting for only leaders that work for us. So it's good to, the experience was really good. But honestly speaking, the leaders that work for us, we are going to vote them only.
And what were some of the issues that concerned you as a first-time voter? What was something that was going on in your mind, in your conscience when you went out and voted? What were some of the issues that concerned you?
As I live in Ahmedabad, we know that one party is working for a long period of time and is working very well. Safety and all issues are very fluently solved. So I'm not afraid of waiting on another leader.
But ऐसा भी होता है कि कहीं ना कहीं there are other issues like employment, like inflation, like job opportunities. Is that something that concerns you? Is that something that you were keeping in?
Yeah, sometimes they concern me, but I can see that Ahmedabad future is very high, where they bring up very much industry in here, and so it's not so concerning about us, because I think in 5-4 years. The industry is going to very big and employment is going to increase. I see a couple of your friends also with you. Both are first-time voters.
Show your finger that you've gotten in. So you can see the first-time voters. In fact, jubilant faces that we see, youngsters. These are the youngsters. In fact, the Prime Minister had also been, directly talking to as well, to imploring them to go out and vote. You're also a first-time voter. आप भी यहाँ पर आए थे वोट डालने. What were some of the issues that concerned you? Some of the things that you were thinking while going out to vote? क्या इस पूरे इलेक्शन में लगा कि किस मुद्दे को ध्यान में रख के यू वोट?
Yes, sure. I was thinking that it is important to build a strong opposition party for the ruling party to work properly, right? So if the ruling party is out there with the maximum vote, I think they would do the work with the efforts. But if the opposition party is also putting a pressure on the ruling party, it would be better that the ruling party will work better.
Essential for democracy. Thank you so much for joining us and speaking to us. So Nupur, Shivangi, some of the first-time voters that have just joined us, in fact, from the Ghatlodia constituency. This is the Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel's constituency. He will, in fact, be passing by from here in his convoy, is what we've been given to understand. He's taking a round of the entire city as well and making sure that also that people are going out and voting, because he also spoke to the media right after he cast his vote and had also implored to the people to come out in large numbers and vote, because Nupur, we had been seeing how the voting percentage had been taking a dip, and we had seen how since till noon, in fact, 19% voter turnout that had also been registered, and of course Ahmedabad ranking a lot lower in the voter turnout as compared to some of the other cities that are seeing a higher voter turnout as well. Of course, we are on the ground tracking all of the movements of some of the renowned faces, politically speaking, as well. As of now, back to you in the studio.
Right. Well, Priyanka, you're getting us all the details. Harsha is there with us as well. And viewers, do not forget, to tune in after 6 p.m. We have the Republic PMARC exit poll where we get the numbers right every time with our editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami. Many reactions coming in today as well. Let's play them out and then I'll go across to our correspondent Harsha, who's also there on ground.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी पुराने सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ के सारे नंबर से ये चुनाव भी हम जीते।
मतदान करना हमारा अधिकार है। सब मतदारों को मतदान करना चाहिए। जब हमें अधिकार प्राप्त हुआ है तो अधिकार का उपयोग करके भारत को अव्वल नंबर पर पहुंचाना चाहिए।
All right, viewers, getting some update coming in. We'll go back to our coverage on Gujarat elections, but some breaking news is coming from the national capital this time around, where a 4-story building has collapsed in the Shastri Nagar area of North Delhi. Further details are still awaited on this breaking development we're getting. It's a wall collapse being reported in Delhi area, the national capital region, specifically in the North Delhi area.
On your screen are of the Prime Minister coming back to Delhi. Do remember that even after he cast his ballot, there is a key meeting that the Prime Minister will be overseeing. It's a strategy meeting that's being held in the national capital for the BJP. Of course, they're looking at the rest of the assembly elections in 2023 as well as 24. So the Prime Minister over there arriving back in the national capital after casting his vote. Earlier this morning, of course, we did see the Prime Minister make his way to the polling booth where he votes. Thereafter, of course, also meeting his brother. Now arriving back in the national capital. Now, just to tell our viewers that the BJP is also holding a very critical meeting today. That's the meeting that's going to be held in the BJP headquarters, we are given to understand. So there, the Prime Minister with the BJP National Secretary, National President, I beg your pardon, JP Nadda, along with him. Now, this is a strategy meeting that is being held in the national capital. Piyush Mishra joins us. He has more details on this. Piyush, good afternoon. Tell us more about this particular meeting. The focus, we understand, is on the assembly elections that are to be held in 23 and thereafter, of course, the national elections of 24.
Well, absolutely. BJP is always in champion mode, and that's the message which is once again being highlighted by the top leadership of Bharatiya Janata Party. Right now, speaking, Prime Minister has arrived here at the BJP headquarters national capital to inaugurate the meeting of all office bearers of Bharatiya Janata Party from across the country. Not only the BJP chief of different states would be present in that meeting, but the organizational structure leaders will also be present in that particular meeting, and this is going to be a 2-day crucial meet.
Right, Piyush,
the BJP.
Your audio connections is dipping a bit. We're going to come back to you, but Aishwarya Kapoor, our political editor, also joining us right now on this one. Aishwarya, the Prime Minister as well as JP Nadda already heading for that meeting. We are given to understand that they're looking at strategizing for the 23 state elections and, of course, thereafter the 24 general elections.
Well, absolutely. This is a complete concentration and the re-strategization of the BJP as far as 2024 general elections are concerned. And you see, just sense the way BJP works and functions. Today is the second phase of elections. Gujarat elections are over, and the Prime Minister is not even wasting a second, a minute. That's how the BJP election machinery works. That's how BJP as a party works. They are on for the next election, that is the general elections. BJP is not wasting any minute, a moment, a second, because they understand that every election is a different fight and they have to win everyone. And that's why you see Prime Minister, right after voting, lands in Delhi. The BJP National President is there. The complete top brass of the BJP waiting inside so that they can chalk out a future strategy for 24 general elections. They're not wasting any minute. And then the opposition, if they need to counter this machinery, this way of functioning, they would have to counter in the same way. And that's why we see that BJP, not only as a party, but is an election machinery of a point and of a level that they do not waste a second. And the man himself, Prime Minister Modi, after casting his vote, not even wasting, forget days, forget hours, not even a single minute, flies to Delhi, and in this meeting there are 4 different reports being submitted from 4 different zones of the country to the BJP, that what are those states where BJP did good last time around in the last general election, and what are they expecting today? So very, very clearly, BJP is now on the roadmap of 2024. And if the opposition needs to counter them in 24, they need to come on their level as far as the preparation for the elections are concerned. And it's also what we are being told that there are at least 24 schemes which were introduced in the last 12 to 14 months, of whose implementation there is going to be a parallel meeting of the government. We are being told within the next 48 hours. So the Prime Minister is also going to having a meeting with his cabinet ministers in this very regard. But at this point of time, it's the meeting of the party. BJP as an organization. You have the BJP national president, you have the Prime Minister arriving and chairing this meet, and the other top brass. Back to you in the studios.
All right, Aishwarya Kapoor reporting on that. Thank you for joining us for the moment. So as Aishwarya was pointing out, of course, the BJP already at work for the next elections, 23-24 on focus over there. Piyush Mishra reporting from the venue where this meeting is taking place. Now, Piyush, this is, of course, a two-day meeting that sets into motion essentially what the BJP's game plan is going to be for not just the, all the states that go to polls in 23. Those, of course, include Madhya Pradesh as well as Karnataka, but also the elections that the general elections of 24. Now, give us more details into what is the process that the BJP is likely to adopt. Aishwarya was pointing out that, they do seek reports from various zones and thereafter perhaps look at those reports and then formulate a policy going forward. So is that what you're hearing as well, Aishwarya? Piyush, I beg your pardon, in terms of how this is going to work?
Well, certainly, like our political editor Aishwarya Kapoor also pointed out that yes, the BJP's focus is now on 2024 Lok Sabha election, and before that, a two-day strategy meet is underway here in the national capital at BJP headquarters. I would ask my video journalist CP Singh to once show you the pictures of that particular venue where this meeting is right now underway, and if he focuses on that particular board, it's written Bharatiya Janata Party Rashtriya Padadhikari Baitak. That's the meeting of all the office bearers of national office bearers of BJP. And as we are speaking, PM has just arrived and he has gone inside in few minutes from now. We will also see the pictures of PM inaugurating this entire meet. Now, BJP is planning to chalk out a strategy not only for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections but also upcoming state assembly elections. And this meeting is taking place on the day when the second phase of voting is already underway in Gujarat. Remember that Prime Minister has already cast his vote. He, along with Home Minister Amit Shah, they have already cast their vote in Gujarat. And after casting his vote, both the leaders are flying to Delhi. In fact, PM has reached here in few minutes from now. We will also see Home Minister Amit Shah also taking part in that particular meeting. And during these two-day meeting, BJP is going to chalk out a strategy as to how to focus on the upcoming state assembly elections and also 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Earlier, we have seen how many meetings have been chaired by top leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party, where they have sought responses, sought feedbacks from the organization leaders, and after that, they are going to implement those feedbacks in this meeting, and then they will be focusing on people's outreach program. They will be focusing on the welfare schemes so that will be launched by PM Modi-led central government. And we have seen how PM Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has been the poster boy of BJP, and not only in the state assembly elections of Himachal and Gujarat, there was a massive demand of Prime Minister's rally, but also during the MC elections in Delhi, the unit here, the BJP unit here in Delhi also was banking on Prime Minister's face. So it's a very important strategy meet which is taking place in national capital. There will be a press conference also after this meeting comes to an end. Then only we will be able to know more about the BJP's strategy. But yes, this meet is basically focused on the upcoming state assembly elections. There are around 9 states those are going to go in polls in before 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and strategy would be focused on those elections only.
Absolutely, Piyush. Thank you for getting those details, and do keep us ahead on the story. The PM is there in the BJP headquarters right now, where they're having a two-day national office bearers meeting, which is starting right now from today. And last time it was very, very clear when the Prime Minister had gone for the meeting at BJP headquarters before the Gujarat elections. That time the decision was taken to field key faces, which are going to be the next generation of leaders in Gujarat. And right now we're getting some visuals coming as well. The Prime Minister there, who has just arrived at the BJP headquarters while the meet is happening to plan the strategy for 2023 and 2024 as well. General elections coming up very soon, and so are state elections next year. The Prime Minister there at the BJP headquarters.
All right, so the Prime Minister as well as the BJP President JP Nadda, both of them paying homage to the leaders of the BJP, the founding members. Pictures on your screen, of course, are of the Prime Minister now going across to the dais. So we are expecting, of course, the BJP to formulate its strategy for the next year's assembly elections. There are a large number of states that go to poll next year, and thereafter, of course, the big one in 2024. That's the general election. And it's very interesting to note that today is the second phase of elections in Gujarat, and the Prime Minister just got back to Delhi from after having cast his vote. I beg your pardon over there. But the BJP, of course, continuing to put its election machinery essentially continuing to work, and that's something that the tenacity that they work with is obviously very difficult for the opposition to match. So pictures on your screen are coming to you from inside this two-day meeting that's going to be held. Now, what we are learning is that there have been different committees that have been formed by the BJP, which will today or tomorrow, of course, be submitting their reports in terms of the work that has been done so far and the way forward. Aishwarya Kapoor, our political editor, continues to be with us on the phone line. Aishwarya, as we were talking about earlier as well, it is the tenacity of the BJP that's so difficult to beat from opposition parties. But also, Aishwarya, give us a sense of how this is going to go forward. We were earlier learning, of course, that the BJP has formed various committees that are looking into different zones, and they come back and report, and thereafter the strategy is formulated?
Well, absolutely. 4 zones, 4 main reports, then 4 sub-part reports of 4 different zones, so 16 reports which are going to be submitted. But as we just mentioned, there are 4 zones, 4 primary reports will be submitted. All the top brass of the BJP's organization is present in this meeting, which is being chaired in presence of the Prime Minister by the BJP National President, Jagat Prakash Nadda. And as you were just talking about the tenacity, this is something which not only makes them separate or make them apart, but it also makes them standing out, and it makes the opposition's work very, very difficult to take on a party which is working on a 24/7, 365 module. You just saw the Prime Minister, not even a couple of hours prior, voting in Ahmedabad, and now he's back in Delhi, completely concentrating on 2024. So anyone, for a Congress or an Aam Aadmi party who feel that they can give competition to this BJP's functionality, really need to understand how fast are they moving. When they got up, they were still thinking about Gujarat. Now, it's 1:20 and they're already chalking the strategy out for 2024 general elections. That's how fast things are moving for the BJP and their planning as far as the next general elections are concerned. And that's how important the BJP feels that the next elections are going to be, and the 4 zones. So very, very clearly at this point of time, things are being looked in a very, very minute way. As I just mentioned, country has been divided into 4 zones. Every zone has a 4th zone. So hence, 16 separate reports compiled into 4 major ones to be submitted to the BJP National President to be discussed in this very meet in presence of the Prime Minister at the BJP's headquarters at 6 Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg here in the national capital. And once again, I repeat, this is what makes them stand out and makes the opposition's job far more difficult. That much more difficult because the Congress leadership feels that just by taking out a Bharat Jodo Yatra, and that too in non-election state, they will be able to give BJP a run for their money competition in 2024 general elections. They need to understand that what are they taking on. They need to understand what are they fighting if they still haven't understood after losing 2 consecutive general elections. So the Congress and then the other opposition parties who are still planning to become a national party need to take on Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah's duo. They need to understand that they need to come to this level as far as their preparations are concerned. And the visuals are from the Delhi headquarters of the BJP on the right at 6 Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg, where the meeting has now begun. Back to you in the studios. Nupur.
All right, Aishwarya, thank you very much for that. And Piyush Mishra, of course, continues to report from the venue that their meeting is taking place. And Piyush, also give us a sense of the other top leadership of the BJP that's making its way to this meeting. They do, of course, have a very concise plan in terms of how they're going to go forward, don't they?
Well, absolutely, they are chalking strategy for the upcoming state assembly elections, and for that, there are multiple committees. Those have already been formed, and there will be discussion as to how to do a massive outreach program. I remember that earlier also some similar sort of meetings have been chaired, where it has been decided to work on the feedback which has been sought earlier by these committees. And today we are seeing the pictures coming in from national capital in BJP headquarters, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with BJP chief JP Nadda, they are on the dais, and a couple of minutes back we also saw those pictures coming in of PM Modi paying respects to the top leaders of BJP. After that we also saw he being felicitated by JP Nadda. Right now Prime Minister is there sitting on the dais, and all the office bearers who have come from different parts of country, they are here. Remember that Biplab Dev, who is former Chief Minister of Tripura, he is here. The other leaders from the states, those are going to go for polls. They are already here. Newly inducted spokesperson of BJP, Javer Shergill, was also seen. So that's the first meeting of him taking part in BJP's meeting. After that, we also saw the top leaders from different parts of the country who are not only in the state BJP chief, but also leaders of organization. They are taking part in that particular meeting. So that's a very crucial meeting which is right now underway, and through this meeting BJP is going to chalk out a strategy as to how to focus on the upcoming state assembly elections. Let us also tell to our viewers that there are around 9 states where the assembly elections will take place. Next year in 2023, important elections will take place in the states like Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and other parts of the country. And these states are going to be very important for BJP, because Congress has its government in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, and BJP is going to chalk out a strategy how to dethrone Congress from these states. After that, there are elections in few northeast states. Leaders from those states have also come here. So it's going to be a strategy meet which will go on till 5 p.m. today. After that, tomorrow it is again going to resume at 8 a.m. and will continue till 4 p.m. It is also important to highlight that soon after casting his vote, Prime Minister has landed in Delhi. He came here to inaugurate this joint strategy meet. I remember that this somewhere shows how BJP is always in 24/7 campaign mood, 24/7 strategy chalking out mode, and that's what the other political parties need to learn. Not only Prime Minister but also Union Home Minister Amit Shah is here to take part in that particular meeting. So this somewhere tells us as to how BJP is always involved in reaching out to people to strategize how to again form government in other states, and that's what is being done here. The strategy for that is being chalked out here as we are speaking. Prime Minister is inside the BJP headquarters. He is going to address the office bearers, and after this very short break we will be getting more and more details as the meeting continues to take place at BJP headquarters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in few minutes from now is going to address the BJP meet which is taking place at BJP headquarters in national capital. Stay tuned for more updates.
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 states will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Plus, post to post live coverage only on Republic TV.
Waterlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone station is shut, which means all those people who are hoping to go back home. When you look at that crowd, what's the message that Houston is sending out? There is also anticipation of a few announcements being made. What are your expectations when they both come up on stage? Are you expecting something big? I'm at the Jama Masjid in Bandra, and there are thousands of people behind me. Why they are protesting, but the situation is pretty tense. Thousands of people that you see.
4 दिन की रिमांड है, 4 दिन की रिमांड। कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? पत्राचौल स्कैम, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का चार्ज के बारे में क्या बोलना चाहते हैं आप?
truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest.
So yesterday there was a session on a range of our priority areas. For instance, inclusive, resilient and accelerated growth. There was focus on women leadership. There was a discussion on digital transformation and data for development. And there was also a discussion on climate finance and life movement. This was a preliminary discussion, a side event, but we have circulated issue notes around all our working groups. Close to about 14 issue notes have been circulated. These have been read by all the countries. All our priorities have been brought out. Many of them were spelt out by the Prime Minister in his Bali address. These will be subject to debate and discussion here.
Viewers, the top headlines at this point of time, it's a phase 2 of Gujarat elections as voting continues right now in Gujarat.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
All right, news just coming in. We are now understanding that the Congress party has decided to complain against the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. The Congress party, we are told, is complaining against the Prime Minister's walk. Now, just to tell our viewers, the Congress believes that this is a violation of the code of conduct that's in place. I do remember that the Prime Minister walked to the polling station that was about 200 meters or so from where he got off his vehicle. He travelled to the area in a cavalcade and thereafter got down and walked for about 200 meters to the polling booth, and thereafter, after casting his ballot, of course, he walked to his brother's residence. So I think that's what is being opposed by the Congress party. So the Prime Minister walking to the polling booth and then onwards from it has been contested by the Congress party. The Congress calls the walk a road show. Aishwarya Kapoor on the phone line with us now. Aishwarya, tell us more in terms of what the Congress complaint is all about.
Well, it's a scared Congress party. Congress party claims that the Prime Minister and the Home Minister of the country walking after casting vote, they are comparing it to a road show. Congress is crying foul, calling walks a walking road show. So they're scared of Modi and Shah walking. While they should be concentrating on how to take on their strategies that the Prime Minister has not only walked, he has moved to Delhi and then to plan for 2024 elections, they are still stuck on the point that he walked after casting his vote, and they are going to complain to the Election Commission, comparing walking to a road show of the Prime Minister and Shah. So it's not only about Prime Minister but also about Home Minister Amit Shah. Congress is basically crying foul, is calling walking a road show. Congress is unable to understand, that is what comes out of it, that how to take on Modi and Shah. Otherwise, they would not have been stuck on them moving after casting their vote, but would have been taking them on strategizing for 2024. But their state unit is going to complain against the Prime Minister and Amit Shah walking after casting their vote. They are calling their walking equivalent to a road show. is calling the Prime Minister walk and the Home Minister's walk as a roadshow. As we speak, we are being told that the State Congress President is going to go to the State Election Commissioner and complain directly, naming the Prime Minister and the Home Minister that they walked after casting their vote. That's in the studios.
All right. So as Aishwarya is pointing out, of course, this has been contended by the Congress party. Now, Aishwarya, how do you see this going forward? Of course, we are given to understand that the Congress says that this walk is a roadshow. It's against the code of conduct. All right, we seem to have lost that audio connection with Aishwarya Kapoor, our political editor. We're going to get him back in just a bit. But here's what we know so far. The Gujarat Congress has decided to complain to the Election Commission against both, I think, the Prime Minister as well as the Home Minister is what we are learning now. We are told that the Congress party is very upset by the walk that the Prime Minister took to. It was about 200 meters or so. He decided to alight from his vehicle and thereafter walk to the polling booth. And thereafter, of course, after casting his ballot, he then went to his brother's home, which was another about 250 meters or so away from there. So the Congress party has taken exception to that. It has gone to the Election Commission. It says that they believe that this is a road show, and that is their complaint against him. Priyanka is joining us live as well. Now, Priyanka, we were reporting in the morning where the Prime Minister, of course, got down from his vehicle and then walked to the polling booth. Now, we are learning that the Congress party has claimed this as a violation of the poll code. They have, in fact, gone to the Election Commission, not just against the Prime Minister, but also Amit Shah.
Well, yes, these are initial reports that we are picking up that the Congress has decided that they will be going to the Election Commission. They will be appealing to the Election Commission to take cognizance. They say that this is a violation in terms of the Prime Minister, in fact, walking to that polling booth, and coming out of that polling booth, he had walked the entire length of the route that he was going towards the booth with. And of course, apart from him, we had seen that Union Minister Amit Shah as well. But the Congress party maintaining that this is in fact a violation of the MCC and also a violation in terms of the law, in fact, that they are not allowed to in fact carry out any kind of campaigning a couple of meters away from the polling booth as well. Now we will have to see whether or not the Congress in fact goes forward and registers this complaint at the Election Commission. But as of now, they have said that they will be approaching the Election Commission to take cognizance of the walk that they claim is a violation both of the Prime Minister and of Amit Shah as well.
All right. So as you're pointing out, of course, just to show our viewers, this is what is being objected to. The Prime Minister, of course, was voting in Ahmedabad earlier this morning, and he decided to walk about for some distance at least, greeting people on either side. So this is what the Congress party is objecting to. They believe that this is essentially a road show, and they want the Election Commission to take notice of this, to take cognizance of this and act against them. But also, Priyanka, it's not just the Prime Minister. They've also objected, I think, to Amit Shah and his visit there after casting his ballot to a nearby temple. So can you tell us more about that? What are you picking up?
Well, what we have seen is that the Prime Minister, in fact, coming out of the polling booth and walking and of course talking to the cadre on the ground, talking to the media. But even while speaking to the media, Anupur, he has not spoken about anything except for imploring the people of Gujarat to come out and vote in huge numbers. And that's exactly what we saw the Union Home Minister Amit Shah also do. In fact, both of these interactions had taken place quite far away from the polling booth, their respective polling booths, one in Raneb, the other in Naranpura. And of course, we have seen both of them speaking about the voter turnout, speaking about the people of Gujarat to come out and exercise their rights to vote. And that's about it. There was no political hyperbole that we saw in these kind of interactions that came out right after both of them, in fact, had cast their vote as well. But of course, we will have to wait for that complaint copy as well for the logic that the Congress is really resorting to, saying that this is in fact a violation for both the Prime Minister to walk and for the Home Minister to also actually walk towards the polling booth. But that in itself is a very bizarre complaint as well that we're looking at, Nupur, because the Prime Minister in fact had been walking towards the polling booth. He had gone inside and had waited in line as well to cast his vote as well. So we'll have to see as to what the Congress is trying to say as far as this complaint is concerned, as far as the legalities of this complaint is also concerned. But as of now, they have said that they will be approaching the Election Commission to take cognizance of this, and we will have to see whether or not the Election Commission also does take cognizance of this or not. But as of now, the Gujarat level leadership, in fact, also not coming out in the open and talking about this particular issue. We will have
All right, so that is Sasikala, of course, at the memorial of J. Jayalalitha. Do remember, it's been 6 years since J. Jayalalitha passed away, and we have seen various factions of the AIADMK, or rather also the political outfits that have come out of the demise of the AIADMK, in a sense. The leaders, EPS, OPS and Sasikala, of course, paying their separate homages. But the big news point that everybody's been talking about is the fact that there seem to be hints now that the two factions, at least, of EPS and OPS could come together. But that's not all. Even Sasikala spoke about it. She said that she is the only one leader who can unite the AIADMK and essentially have a credible opposition to the DMK in Tamil Nadu. Also, pictures on your screen are testament to how big a leader J. Jayalalitha was. Thousands of people have thronged the memorial that has been erected for Jayalalitha. Let's go across to Varshini. I think she's joining us live. And Varshini, if you could just translate what Sasikala is saying.
Well, right now, Speaker Sasikala and her cadres are paying respect to the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, J. Jayalalitha's memorial at the Marina Beach. And they are also raising slogans about how D.K. Sasikala is the, political heir, and she must be the next leader for the AIADMK party. Whereas we can also see that D. Sasikala
All right, viewers, we'll just connect back with our correspondent. But right now, visuals coming on a screen of Sasikala at the memorial of Jayalalitha. Tribute being paid by Sasikala as well. Sasikala is paying tribute on the 6th death anniversary, and this is also being seen as a show of strength by Sasikala.
कि कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, हाँ, इट्स फैक्ट दैट कमल हमारा नेशनल फ्लावर भी है. तो जब नेशनल फ्लावर तो इलेक्शन कमीशन एक पार्टी को दे दिए जब, तो वो फ्लावर को यूज नहीं करके और भी नेशनल कितना चीज था. हमारा संभवतः नेशनल टाइगर था पहले, नेशनल चीफ जो चिन्ह था, अभी लायंस बना दिया. तो पिकॉक भी है, जो नेशनल एम्ब्लेम है, कितना चीज है. ये चीज को देखना चाहिए, बिकॉज 20 कंट्रीज, इफ आई डोंट रेज अदर विल रेज. जैसे आप एक सांबादिक हमको पूछ रहा है, इसी के लिए मेरे को उत्तर देना पड़ रहा है. नहीं तो मैं देखते जा रहा है, दिख रहा है, लेकिन तब भी देश का बात है, इसी के लिए हम इसके इशू नहीं बनाया. But it is not a non-issue. It's an important issue, and I think they should think over the matter.
Didi, the Gujarat second phase election is on. Prime Minister had gone out to cast his vote, but it was more like a road show, which is in violation of the Election Commission's norms. The same Election Commission which had barred you from campaigning for a day is today quiet. He did a road show reaching to the polling booth, and after he came out.
They are the special people. It is the Election Commission duty. As a political party, we abide by the Election Commission. But what Supreme Court said, I do agree, cent for cent, that Election Commission also, there should be some system for nomination of the Election Commission and all this.
He did a road show today.
Election day road show is banned. But for them, they may be excused. This is the basic difference. না না, আপনি সব জানেন না। ঘটনাটা আমি সকালেই হ্যান্ডেল করে দিয়েছি। তখন দুজন মাত্র ডাক্তার ছিল, দুজন জুনিয়র ডাক্তার, কোনো সিনিয়র ডাক্তার ছিল না। ঘটনাটা 4-5 দিন আগের একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট কেস। যাই হোক, একটা ইয়াং ছেলে মারা গেলে বা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হলে মানুষের তো একটা দুঃখ লাগে, কিন্তু তাদের এটা করা উচিত নয়। কারণ ডাক্তাররা দে ট্রাইড দেয়ার বেস্ট। আমাদের ট্রমা সেন্টার ইজ ওয়ান অফ দ্য বেস্ট সেন্টার, এবং 4-5 দিন ধরে দে কন্টিনিউয়াস দে ট্রাইড দেয়ার বেস্ট। রাতের বেলায় মারা গেছে বলে ওরা হঠাৎ ঢুকে গেছে। আমি কত কষ্ট করে, কত টাকা খরচ করে এই ট্রমা সেন্টার করেছি। দুজন জুনিয়র ডাক্তারকে ওরা হেকেল করেছে, ম্যান হ্যান্ডেল করেছে।
All right, so Mamata Banerjee speaking there. In fact, Mamata Banerjee will be in Delhi today to take part in the preparatory meeting for the G20 summit, which will be convened by PM Modi at Rashtrapati Bhavan. She's making a couple of points there as well, and she will in fact will be here in Delhi very soon. Now remember, West Bengal will also be hosting the G20 tourism meeting in Darjeeling from April 3rd next year as well. And Mamata is in fact questioning the lotus symbol of G20, and she also has commented on the Prime Minister's walk, saying that that it is excused for them. It's excused for them. When she was questioned about the Prime Minister's walk, which the Congress is going to move the EC for. They have an issue with the Prime Minister's walk there while he went for voting. All right, let's go ahead and take a very short break right now, viewers. We continue getting the top updates as Gujarat also is going to polls today in the second phase.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
आज के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की, कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं, और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Last post to post, live coverage only on Republic TV.
Waterlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone station is shut, which means all those people who are hoping to go back home. When you look at that crowd, what's the message that Houston is sending out? There is also anticipation of a few announcements being made. What are your expectations when they both come up on stage? Are you expecting something big? I'm at the Jama Masjid in Bandra and there are thousands of people behind me. Why they are protesting, but the situation is pretty tense. Thousands of people that you see.
4 दिन की रिमांड है, 4 दिन की रिमांड.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic P-Mark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Viewers are getting some breaking news coming in. International breaking news now. Dramatic brawl breaks out in Senegal's parliament. Visuals of that you can see on your screen. It looks like it's extremely dramatic. People are punching each other and they're even picking up chairs. Soon I'll be joined by our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor, who will take us through exactly what's happening there in the parliament at Senegal right now. Visuals of that on your screen as well. We can see that a brawl has broken out in Senegal's parliament. And in fact, 2 days back too, Senegal parliament saw brawls after MP had hit a woman colleague. Once again, we are seeing more visuals come in and more details coming of a dramatic fight inside the Senegal parliament. And there are chaotic scenes there you can see in the parliament in Senegal. Now what we can see is a massive scuffle which has erupted between the lawmakers. You can see chairs being thrown. You can see that the parliamentarians as well stumbling and falling there. Massive brawl there inside the Senegal parliament. It's time for a very short break, viewers. We continue to be live and breaking and getting to the top updates today. Here's the final fight as voting is underway for the second phase of Gujarat elections. 19.17% voter turnout till 11 a.m.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं.
Amid the Modi chants, PM cast his vote at Ahmedabad Lord's Election Commission for conducting peaceful polls. Stay tuned.
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic P-Mark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Last post to post live coverage.
Right now we are in Jammu, the Resident Commissioner office, where the Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest, and this protest is against the threats that have been issued by the terror group, the Resistance Front. The terror group has issued a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target. We'll try to speak to some of the Kashmiri Pandits because this Kashmiri Pandit community has been on the target of the terror group for a long, and yesterday itself they have issued another threat to these Kashmiri Pandit employees. Time and again, day before yesterday when we spoke, you said that we have been demanding, but no heed is being paid to our demand.
Absolutely, sir. You are quite right that we are demanding for right to live from since May this year, but our demands are not being heard. In respect, the government has stopped our salaries. Giving a respite to our heroes, the government has stopped our salaries, and now a recent list of 57 employees of our community has been issued by TRF, and they are threatened to be killed. So this is the breach of security.
அதிமுக பொறுத்த தொண்டர்கள் முடிவு பண்றதுதான் நடக்கும். அது நிச்சயம் தனிப்பட்ட ஒருத்தர் முடிவு பண்ற முடியாது. அது வேற கட்சியில முடிவு பண்ணலாம். எங்க அனைத்து இந்த அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்துல அது மாதிரி செய்ய முடியாது. ஏன்னா எங்க புரட்சி தலைவர் கட்சி ஆரம்பிச்சதுல இருந்து அவர் அந்த பொறுப்பை தொண்டர்கள் கையில தான்.
நாடாளுமன்ற தேர்தல்ல ஒவ்வொரு தரப்பும் மெகா கூட்டணின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம். யார் தலைமையில மெகா கூட்டணி அமையும் நினைக்கிறீங்க? ஏடிஎம்கேல
விடுங்கப்பா.
ஓகே மேடம். ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ மேடம். தேங்க்யூ மேடம். மேடம் தேங்க்யூ மேடம்.
Hello.
So we just heard that reaction from Sasikala, who in fact was at the Jaya Memorial, and she spent the last an hour or so there, and many say that this is possibly a show of strength by her. But what is it that she has on her mind? What is it that she can do, considering that you have seen the ADMK that is fractured right now? Remember, there were reports that she could actually join hands with a particular faction, and this is how she plans to take on the DMK in the state. Would that happen or not? We'll also try to get in Varshini to help us understand verbatim what exactly we've heard from Sasikala. But there is a churn in Tamil Nadu politics as far as the DMK, the ADMK is concerned. The BJP, remember, also trying to get a foothold right now into states politics. Varshini, Sasikala there paying tribute to Jayalalitha. What have you heard from her specifically? What does she say about what's on her mind?
Well, when Republic tried asking her about how, this AIADMK party is planning to move forward, because there are three factions right now, and also OPS before a few minutes spoke to Republic saying that coming back together, reuniting is the only way. She says that even she stands by that. The only way to AIADMK party to come back together stronger is to reunite, to put out all the political differences aside and to come back together and work. And she also mentioned something very interesting. She says that one person cannot decide what the party's future is, and by that one person she means that Edapadi K. Palniswamy cannot decide on how the party's future is going to be. It's about everybody, including OPS, including herself, including TTV Dinakar and other important leaders who have also been terminated by the current interim General Secretary Edapadi K. Palniswamy from the party during their General Council meet. So therefore, VK Shashikala is also standing strongly on her point where she wants all the leaders to come back, put aside their political
differences and to be put forth a front, a very strong
Okay,
front
so will
as
that
the
happen or not,
opposition party.
Varshini? I think that's something that we'll keep our eyes on, only for what if time. Apologies, I'm just interrupting you here, but we'll track that story also when we come back on the other side of this quick break. And remember, we are also keeping our focus and the spotlight on the all-important Gujarat elections. We are in the second phase of that election, and the Prime Minister voted earlier. Now he's back in Delhi. He's now chairing a mega BJP meet. More details also of that when we come back.
मेरी नजरों से चुना, तेरी हरकतों से सुना, कभी जीती तू, कभी मैं हारा, फिर भी खूबसूरत है ये नजारा, क्योंकि इसमें है खुला
कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
अमेजिंग स्पेसेस के लिए ड्रीम लैम लैमिनेट्स, कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Last post to post, live coverage only on Republic TV.
Waterlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone station is shut, which means all those people who are hoping to go back home. When you look at that crowd, what's the message that Houston is sending out? There is also anticipation of a few announcements being made. What are your expectations when they both come up on stage? Are you expecting something big? I'm at the Jama Masjid in Bandra, and there are thousands of people behind me. Why they are protesting, but the situation is pretty tense. Thousands of people that you see.
4 दिन की रिमांड है, 4 दिन की रिमांड। कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? पत्राचौल स्कैम, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का चार्ज के बारे में क्या बोलना चाहते हैं आप?
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states. The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic P-Mark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m. It is the final fight as voting is underway for the second phase of the Gujarat elections. 34.7% voter turnout till 1 p.m.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
Amidst the Modi chants, the Prime Minister casts his vote in Ahmedabad, lauds the Election Commission for conducting peaceful polls. Modi chants reverberate in Gujarat, but the Congress politicizes this, calls the Prime Minister's walk a violation. The Home Minister Amit Shah, along with his family members, cast their vote in Ahmedabad, appealing to all the first-time voters to step out to cast their ballot. It's also a prestige battle in Uttar Pradesh's Mainpuri, the seat vacant after Mulayam Singh Yadav's demise. And we are building up to the biggest and the most accurate exit poll on Republic with India's #1 news team. And let's get you more details on what's been happening in Uttar Pradesh. Do remember there is the seat, Mainpuri, that has now, in fact, voting. It's a bypoll that has been necessitated after the death of Mulayam Singh Yadav. Now, Akhilesh Yadav there has spoken to Republic on the entire fracas that has been reported earlier. The Samajwadi Party has, in fact, complained, and they have said that a lot of voters are not being allowed to cast their ballot. They are casting aspersions not just on the Election Commission, also on the ruling BJP in the state. Let's listen into what he says.
अखिलेश जी, मैनपुरी का ये बड़ा चुनाव है और क्या इसको किस तरह से देखते हैं?
देखिए, ये चुनाव नेताजी के ना रहने पर है। पहला चुनाव ऐसा हो रहा है जब नेताजी हमारे बीच नहीं हैं। जो विकास दिखाई दे रहा है मैनपुरी में, सड़कों का, बिजली का या और तरह का, सब समाजवादी पार्टी और नेताजी का कराया हुआ है। इसलिए मैनपुरी की जनता एक बार फिर समाजवादी पार्टी को वोट देने जा रही है। जहां से सूचनाएं आ रही हैं, ज़रूर डिले कर रहे हैं। पुलिस प्रशासन की हो सकता है ये ब्रीफिंग रही हो या किसने ब्रीफ किया हो कि जिसकी वजह से एक एक व्यक्ति जो वोटर है, जो वोट डालने आ रहा है, उसकी कई बार चेकिंग हो रही है। अगर इसी तरह चेकिंग होगी तो वोट कितना पड़ पाएगा? कई बूथों से ये शिकायतें आई हैं।
पीसी में आपने कहा कि लोगों को रोका जा रहा वोट करने से, और प्रशासन जो आपके कार्यकर्ताओं के पीछे पड़ा हुआ है, क्या शिकायतें मिली?
अभी घिरोर में जो हमारी पार्टी के पदाधिकारी हैं गुप्ता जी, उन्हें पहली बार उठाया, फिर कहा गया, फिर छोड़ दिया, फिर उठा लिया। जो व्यक्ति 70 साल का है उसे बार बार क्यों उठा रहे हैं आप? जहाँ पर शिकायतें आई थी, कुछ जगह ठीक हो गई, कुछ जगह अभी भी है इस तरह का कि उन्हें डराया धमकाया जा रहा है। जहाँ हम खड़े हैं, अगर बगल का बूथ देख के आइए, सेंटर फोर्स चेक कर रही है पहले आईडी, फिर अंदर चेक हो रहा है आईडी, फिर एक और चेक हो रहा है आईडी। अगर 3 बार आईडी चेक होगा तो वोटर अपना वोट कब डालेगा?
तो आपको लगता है आईडी चेक नहीं होना चाहिए?
नहीं, जो नियम है उसके तहत होना चाहिए। जिसका अधिकार है उसको चेक होना चाहिए।
अरे चुनौती आप मानते हैं?
कोई चुनौती नहीं है।
या फिर इसकी
देखिए, जो बेईमानी हो रही है रामपुर, वो सब देख रहे हैं कि जहां पुलिस प्रशासन की कोशिश ये होनी चाहिए कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वोट आए, निकले और पड़े, वहां कोशिश ये चल रही है कि वोट ना पड़ पाए। कर्फ्यू सा लगा दिया डेमोक्रेसी में। अगर आप वोट के दिन कर्फ्यू लगा दोगे तो आप डेमोक्रेसी को हिला रहे हैं, आप डेमोक्रेसी को खत्म कर रहे हैं। और ये जाना किसके इशारे पे ये सब कुछ हो रहा है?
एक आखिरी सवाल, नेताजी की विरासत है, एक तरफ उनके शिष्य कहे जाते हैं रघुराज शाक्य और एक तरफ उनकी पुत्र वधू।
देखिए, नेताजी की सबसे बड़ी विरासत है समाजवादी विचारधारा जो हमको दी है। नेताजी ने जीवन भर आर्थिक, सामाजिक और राजनीतिक पहलुओं के जो अपना पक्ष रखा और जहां ऊंचाई तक पहुंचाया लोगों को। मैं समझता हूं समाजवादी विचारधारा नेताजी यहां तक लेकर के आए हैं। हमारी सबकी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि अगले 50 साल तक इस विचारधारा को और कैसे मजबूत किया जाए।
चुनाव में धांधली के आरोपों के बीच अब आप क्या करेंगे आगे?
धांधली पे शिकायत कर रहे हैं, कुछ जगह शिकायतें सुनी जा रही हैं, कुछ जगह शिकायतें नहीं सुनी जा रही हैं। मैं समझता हूँ इलेक्शन कमीशन को निगरानी रखनी चाहिए, और पूरी निगरानी इसलिए रखनी चाहिए कि जब सरकार और प्रशासन मिल जाएगा तो लोकतंत्र कैसे बचेगा।
पिछले उपचुनाव के नतीजे उतने अच्छे नहीं रहते, इस उपचुनाव में क्या उम्मीद है?
कई बार उपचुनाव में बहुत अच्छे नतीजे आए हैं, और पिछली बार भी बेईमानी हुई थी। मैं समझता हूँ इस बार वोटर बेईमानी से नहीं डर रहा है, इसीलिए ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वोट डालने।
So that, remember, is Akhilesh Yadav making that big charge against the Election Commission, against the local cops and the Yogi Adityanath government. This, viewers, is a prestige battle. It's the same seat which is looking at a bypoll. Why? Because of the demise of Mulayam Singh Yadav, and Akhilesh's wife, the former MP Dimple, is in fact contesting from that seat. We'll track that story and much more as Akhilesh Yadav is complaining in the state of Uttar Pradesh. You have the Congress that is complaining now in the state of Gujarat. Now, what does the Congress say? The Congress say that because you had the Prime Minister and the Home Minister Amit Shah today walking as they were headed to cast their ballot in Ahmedabad earlier, they say this is a violation of the Model Code of Conduct. In fact, they go on to call this a road show. We will have Priyanka and Aishwarya both who are reporting on that story. And remember, the story moving very fast. It's a big election controversy. I want to first up go into Priyanka, and then we'll get in Aishwarya for the larger big picture here. So, Priyanka, this is nothing new. It shouldn't be a surprise because in 2017, you heard almost similar complaints by the Congress, and it's a redux of that entire moment. Why is the Congress looking so spooked, and what do they exactly say?
Well, that's right, Deepthi, this is something similar that had happened in 2017 elections as well, and the Congress party had approached the Election Commission, and once again, they have filed 2 complaints with the Election Commission, one against the Prime Minister and one against the Union Home Minister Amit Shah as well. And both of these complaints are talking about violations of the election code and the election model code of conduct as well, and have stated that these are the leaders, in fact, who are also speaking about the polls near the polling booth as well. And they've also said that this entire walk, quote unquote, that they're saying is a road show, is something that they are citing, claiming that the Prime Minister, in fact, was carrying out a road show. But we were there, in fact, Deepthi, we were there on the ground outside of the polling booth as well. And it was that the Prime Minister had come in his cavalcade there towards the polling booth, and then had gotten out and had, just like a normal voter, had walked and gone inside the polling booth and had waited. So this is the entire series of events of which Congress has taken offence and taken note of, and have stated that this entire incident, in fact, this entire Prime Minister coming there and walking and going towards the voting booth, that is in fact being called as a road show by the Congress party. And of course, they're also saying that a similar incident had taken place with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah as well, and that he had gone to the temple right next to the polling booth, and that also constitutes to campaigning as well. So these are some of the allegations that are being levelled by the Congress party. We will have to wait and watch how that really pans out for or against the Congress party. But coming to your question, Deepthi, we do see these kind of attempts by the Congress party. Even in 2017, we had seen that, as I mentioned earlier. And of course, this time, as we have been tracking the entire campaign of the Congress party, we have seen that there's not a lot of visibility that we see on the ground of the Congress party in terms of the campaign. Then be it, of course, also in terms of Rahul Gandhi factor, who had been completely missing in action in the state of Gujarat, at least this campaign. And of course, in the backdrop of that, we see these kind of complaints also coming to light. Yeah, Deepthi.
Yes, Priyanka, very quickly, I also want to get in Aishwarya because he has more insight into what sources in the Election Commission say. Now, you know, Aishwarya, we heard Pawan Khera there saying the Prime Minister is a repeat offender. We'll also go into Harsha in just a bit, but, you know, there are no flags. I don't see any banners there. So what is this complaint about? What basis is the Congress saying that this is a violation of the Model Code of Conduct, and what do sources in the Election Commission say?
Deepthi, just analyze what has happened in the last 4 hours. BJP Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah started from Gujarat, casted their votes, and now they are in Delhi preparing for 2024 Jan elections. That's how fast the BJP's machinery, BJP's organization is working and acting. And the Congress is still stuck in 2017. They are scared of the Prime Minister Amit Shah walking. Imagine that. They are scared, and I repeat, the Congress party in Gujarat is not scared of the speed at which the Prime Minister is working and preparing now in 4 hours from Gujarat elections to 2024 general elections. No, they are scared of the Prime Minister and Amit Shah walking. They are calling a 100-meter walk as a road show. Prime Minister's road show was 50 kilometers long, Amit Shah's road show was 15 kilometers long, and that is what a road show is, not a 100-meter walk. They don't want Prime Minister's face to come out, they don't want Prime Minister to wave hands, and that's their problem. Because they are unable to walk at the speed and work at the speed of this duo, that is Modi and Shah. 3 to 4 hours prior, they were casting their vote in Ahmedabad. And now they are analyzing how to strategize, 16 reports being submitted for 2024. And that's the real reason of frustration and desperation, which we see that Congress does not want to work hard. Congress does not have a clear leadership, a clear direction. And as a result, they are just repeating what they did in 2017. And as Priyanka was telling, because they are unable to keep up with the pace of the Prime Minister and Amit Shah. And the example is right there in front of us. Morning, they were in Ahmedabad. Right now, they are in Delhi strategizing for 24. And where is Congress? Still stuck in 2017. And that's a reality check with the Congress party and the other opposition parties. If they plan to take on this duo and this election machinery, which BJP has completely converted to post-2013, that they need to work at their pace if they need to take them on. And that's the bottom line. Deepthi.
That is true. That is true. And I think, we should, in fact, try to get more political reactions to that story, because this is a moment, Aishwarya, I clearly remember when we were bang in the middle of the 2017 campaign also, they spoke about the EVMs. In the middle of the day, the Congress and Priyanka, you would remember that in Rajkot, they said EVMs kharab hai. So you see the same bahana, coming up again and again and again, Aishwarya. And before I come to Harsha, let's quickly play out what we heard from the Prime Minister, who's actually appealed to everyone to come forward and vote. And he simply went there to cast his vote. He showed his inked finger and he said everyone needs to be an equal participant in this festival of democracy.
और दिल्ली के मतदाताओं ने बहुत ही उत्साह और उमंग के साथ मनाया। मैं लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं, धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन को भी हृदय से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं कि उन्होंने बहुत ही शानदार तरीके से पूरे विश्व में भारत के लोकतंत्र की प्रतिष्ठा को बढ़े, इस प्रकार से चुनाव का संचालन करने की एक महान परंपरा विकसित की है। और उसका एक उत्तम उदाहरण इस चुनाव में भी नजर आया। मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन का भी हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
So that is a very brief statement that you heard from the Prime Minister, who is a registered voter. He goes on to vote. And we'll quickly, just take our viewers through these images that you're seeing playing out on your screens. We also have Aishwarya, Priyanka and Harsha tracking every bit of this election controversy. Do remember, you're looking at the second phase of polling that is still on, and the Congress already is complaining. What are they complaining about? They say the Prime Minister and the Home Minister walked until the polling booth, and that for them, they say, is a violation of the Model Code of Conduct. Now, like we said, it's a redux of the entire episode we saw in 2017, Harsha. They again had gone to the Election Commission, but the Election Commission found no merit in that argument. Now, I want to understand, bang in the middle of this second phase, the all-important phase right now, why has the Congress gone ahead to put out this complaint without any basis? What do they say?
See, Deepthi, one thing is for sure, in 2017 elections of Gujarat, we had clearly seen that at that time also Congress had complained about EVMs. They have clearly stated that EVMs were wrong, they were not properly working, and BJP has somehow managed to make votes in their own favor. And after that it was cross-checked, and Congress arguments and complaints were found baseless. And this time also in Rajkot and Surat and many parts of Saurashtra, Congress was complaining about EVMs. But let me tell you very frankly, right now I had word with Jagdish Thakur, who is GPCC president over here in Gujarat. He clearly stated that we are going to Election Commission in Gujarat as well in Delhi, because Congress is somehow fearing that today what Prime Minister Narendra Modi's roadshow everyone looked up to, and Amit Shah supporters, how they were in Narangpura, that could be a last push for their vote in favor of BJP, because clearly those visuals on our screen, we clearly saw how supporters, cadre and BJP workers were over there. Even in fact the commoners and locals were also standing in support of BJP. Now Congress clearly knows that the first phase has somehow gone in favor of BJP, because these are election experts, because BJP leaders have also been stating that first phase in many places they have got the survey that they have performed well. Now Congress is fearing clearly that they couldn't perform well, or this second phase could also go much in favor of BJP. Therefore now they want to move towards Election Commission, complaining about the Model Code of Conduct. True, we have seen that Amit Shah was here, and after he cast his vote, he walked to the temple, seek blessings of the god, because it is the violation of Model Code of Conduct, which Congress has been stating. But the time exactly when they will go to Election Commission in Delhi and in Gujarat has yet not been set by Jagdish Thakur till now. So we have to wait and watch exactly what are their complaints all about, whether it is the road show, or they have any fear of Model Code of Conduct, or they are still stating that EVMs are not working properly. Back to you, Deepthi.
Okay. And I do remember, in the middle of the first phase also, you had the Aam Aadmi Party talking of slow polling. So I don't know why you have political parties in the middle of campaigning, first phase, second phase. You've seen, similar election controversies. And these are images, ladies and gentlemen, of that, walk that the Prime Minister took because he was going there to cast his vote. The Congress says this is a violation of the Model Code of Conduct. Harsha, before we carry forward this conversation and get in more political reactions, let's quickly listen in to important newsmakers who've spoken to Republic since this morning.
मैं लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं, धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन को भी हृदय से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। तो उन्होंने बहुत ही शानदार तरीके से पूरे विश्व में भारत के लोकतंत्र की प्रतिष्ठा को बढ़े, इस प्रकार से चुनाव का संचालन करने की एक महान परंपरा विकसित की है।
सरकार से संतुष्ट हैं?
बहुत संतुष्ट है।
बहुत संतुष्ट है। परिवार से जुड़े रहते हैं? नरेंद्र मोदी, बातचीत होती रहती है आपकी?
नहीं जुड़े रहते,
काम में व्यस्त रहते हैं, जनता के लिए काम करते हैं।
वो राष्ट्र के लिए है।
ये दफ़ा हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी पुराने सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ के सारे नंबर से ये चुनाव भी हम जीते।
लोकतंत्र में चुनाव ही एक ऐसी शक्ति है जहां पर आप अपने आप को शक्तिशाली प्रूव कर सकते हैं। तो मेरी तो सबसे अपील भी है और साथ ही साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो शासन और जो शक्ति और सुशासन जो राज्य में रहा है और गुजरात की अस्मिता और गौरव के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जो काम किया है, तो मैं सभी गुजरातियों को अपील करता हूं कि सब साथ मिलकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की शक्ति को बढ़ाए और भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोटदान करें।
मतदान करना हमारा अधिकार है। सब मतदारों को मतदान करना चाहिए। जब हमें ये अधिकार प्राप्त हुआ है तो अधिकार का उपयोग करके भारत को अव्वल नंबर पर पहुंचाना चाहिए।
So let's also get in the first reaction from the BJP. Senior BJP spokesperson Yamal Vyasji is joining us on the broadcast right now. Vyasji, thank you for speaking to us on Republic. How would you respond to this big allegation by the Congress? They say the Prime Minister and the Home Minister violated the Model Code of Conduct, and the Congress is calling this walk a roadshow. Yamal Vyasji, are you there with us? Mr. Vyas, can you hear us, sir?
हेलो
व्यास जी आपको आवाज आ रही है?
हेलो
यमल व्यास जी, आपको हमारी आवाज आ रही है सर? Okay, I think we have some trouble with that line, but we'll try to get you the very first response from the Gujarat BJP to that allegation that has been put in by the Congress party. On what basis does the Congress believe that this was a violation of the Model Code of Conduct? Or is the truth in the fact that the Congress right now is sensing a defeat the reason why? You hear them breaking up this controversy bang in the middle of the second phase of polling that is underway. We are to a quick break right now. On the other side, back with lots more. Now, the TRS leader, K. Kavita, has responded to the CBI and she says she needs more time to appear before the investigative agency. This is about the Delhi liquor excise scam. We'll also have details of that on the other side of this quick break. Also, Sasikala is back at the Jaya Memorial, so are EPS and OPS. But what does this mean for the future of the ADMK? The full story also on that when we come back.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbala's Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbala says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally in the suspicion of theft.
आज के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Plus post to post live coverage only on Republic TV.
Waterlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone Station.
That India and Germany interact in the framework of the G4 when it comes to the reform of the UN Security Council. We had a discussion on India's G20 presidency, which comes just as Germany itself is concluding a very successful G7 presidency. And I know that we have Germany's strong support as we take up our responsibility in the G20. Among the issues we discussed was also cooperation in third countries, in other regions. I think today our relationship has matured to a point where our cooperation should be visible more and more to the rest of the world. So that was something we discussed. How can we make this happen more effectively? We already have some projects in Cameroon, in Ghana, and Malawi and Peru. But the idea was really how can we be doing very much more. I also welcome Germany's decision to participate in the India-Pacific Oceans Initiative that we had announced in 2019. Where our economic ties are concerned, you all know that India, Germany is our largest partner in the EU. I think we both recognize that the business climate today, the business enthusiasm today is very much stronger. And we certainly, as foreign ministers, would like to channelize that and use it as a positive source of energy for the relationship. We are today supporting the India-EU negotiations on trade, investment and geographical indicators. We hope that they will progress well. The third round of negotiations on the FTA has just concluded. But I think on a broader scale, I think both of us spent time talking about how to create more reliable and resilient supply chains. In the digital world, how to encourage more trust and transparency. I think we have a common interest, India and Germany, in ensuring not just a stronger global economy, but also a more secure global economy.
So as you can see, on this range of issues, really it's been a very productive morning. There was some talk between us on people-to-people relationships. We have just signed the Migration and Mobility Partnership Agreement, and I do think that this will be a very strong signal for a greater, not just a greater flow of talent and skills between our two societies, but I think also as a basis for a more contemporary partnership. One issue which also came up were the visa challenges, and we hope that some of these are addressed in the coming months so that the backlog can be cleared, and I have every confidence that there will be that effort made by our partner. A specific issue which came up, some of you may be familiar with this case. This relates to a child called Ariha Shah. So we have concerns that the child should be in her linguistic, religious, cultural and social environment. This is her right. And our embassy is pursuing the matter with German authorities, but it was also a subject which I had brought up with the minister. Overall, I would say our bilateral relationship today is very wide, it's very deep, and it really covers, all the key areas: political, strategic, economic, SMT, people-to-people, education. But it can grow very much. And I think we, the two foreign ministers, I think are particularly committed to make that happen. Our meeting today, our discussions were helpful in that regard. Once again, really, Minister, I thank you so much for being here and for partnering me in this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Her Excellency Minister Baerbock to make her remarks.
Thank you very much, and I will speak in German. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, lieber Subramaniam Jaishankar Ji, vielen Dank für den herzlichen Empfang heute hier in Neu-Delhi. Ich habe meinen Besuch in Indien heute, wie viele vor mir, am Gedenkort Gandhi Smriti begonnen. Schon immer hat mich Indiens reiche Geschichte tief bewegt.
Deeply moved by India's rich history, but when I followed Gandhi's last steps today, I became acutely aware of the fact that India's path towards independence truly was not an easy one. Today, almost 75 years after the murder of Gandhi, there is a close bond between our democracies, a bond that unites us on the basis of shared values: human rights, freedom, democracy,
Das Vertrauen in eine Ordnung
in an order based on the law. Thank you very much for the open exchange we had today about all these topics, and this open exchange is possible also because, of course, this is my first official visit to India, but it truly doesn't feel like a first official visit. It rather feels like coming to see a good friend. And the fact that we have met several times already this year at the intergovernmental consultations, as you mentioned, in Berlin, the G20 meeting in Bali, or the UNGA in New York, shows how important the close coordination between friends is to us, especially in this year. And it also illustrates that in these difficult times, it is important that we stand together as partners in values, that we really can grow together, and that we are doing so. My visit today could not be more timely. This month, as you said, India's G20 presidency and your presidency in the UN Security Council overlap with our G7 presidency. So you're also having the presidency of the United Nations Security Council. So, Minister Jaishankar, I would like to explicitly thank you for assuming the presidency of the G20, not only in a business as usual way, but you also made it very clear in our discussion that this is a very special task and that you will shape with great responsibility. So India is assuming global responsibility in this difficult moment. Responsibility for the most urgent tasks of our time. We have the global impact of the brutal war of aggression of Russia against Ukraine, an illegal war that has brought the whole world.
Couple of statements coming out at this point of time, where India, Germany they have signed an agreement together. And they have signed an agreement on the comprehensive migration and mobility partnership with the German foreign minister as well in Delhi. So really cementing the India-German ties there. And a lot of issues were discussed, including the Russia-Ukraine war. And Germany also saying that they share deep ties with India. Viewers, top headlines right now. It's a final fight as voting is underway for the second phase of Gujarat elections.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
Amid the Modi chants, PM casts his vote in Ahmedabad, Lord's Election Commission for conducting peaceful polls. Modi chants reverberate in Gujarat, but Congress politics is on, calls Prime Minister's walk a violation. Home Minister Amit Shah, along with his family members, cast vote in Ahmedabad, appeals for first-time voters to step out to vote. It's a prestige battle in UP's Mainpuri, the seat vacant after Mulayam Singh Yadav's demise. And viewers, catch the biggest and most accurate exit polls on Republic with Republic's and India's #1 news team. Viewers, getting some breaking news coming in. Republic has spoken to Akhilesh Yadav, where by-polls are underway. Akhilesh Yadav, who has just cast his vote, has made some very big allegations against UP police and said that cops are not allowing the people to cast their vote. Allegation coming in from Akhilesh Yadav right now as by-polls are underway. He has made a couple of allegations saying that voters are being stopped from casting their vote. Let's go ahead and listen in to this conversation that Republic TV has had with Akhilesh Yadav.
अखिलेश जी, मैनपुरी का ये बड़ा चुनाव है और क्या इसको किस तरह से देखते हैं?
देखिए, ये चुनाव नेताजी के ना रहने पर है। पहला चुनाव ऐसा हो रहा है जब नेताजी हमारे बीच नहीं हैं। जो विकास दिखाई दे रहा है मैनपुरी में, सड़कों का, बिजली का या और तरह का, सब समाजवादी पार्टी और नेताजी का कराया हुआ है। इसलिए मैनपुरी की जनता एक बार फिर समाजवादी पार्टी को वोट देने जा रही है। जहां से सूचनाएं आ रही हैं, ज़रूर डिले कर रहे हैं। पुलिस प्रशासन की हो सकता है ये ब्रीफिंग रही हो या किसने ब्रीफ किया हो कि जिसकी वजह से एक एक व्यक्ति जो वोटर है, जो वोट डालने आ रहा है, उसकी कई बार चेकिंग हो रही है। अगर इसी तरह चेकिंग होगी तो वोट कितना पड़ पाएगा। कई बूथों से ये शिकायतें आई हैं।
पीसी में आपने कहा कि लोगों को रोका जा रहा वोट करने से, और प्रशासन जो आपके कार्यकर्ताओं के पीछे पड़ा हुआ है, क्या शिकायतें मिली?
अभी घिरोर में जो हमारी पार्टी के पदाधिकारी हैं गुप्ता जी, उन्हें पहली बार उठाया, फिर कहा गया, फिर छोड़ दिया, फिर उठा लिया। जो व्यक्ति 70 साल का है उसे बार बार क्यों उठा रहे हैं आप? जहाँ पर शिकायतें आई थी, कुछ जगह ठीक हो गई, कुछ जगह अभी भी है इस तरह का कि उन्हें डराया धमकाया जा रहा है। जहाँ हम खड़े हैं, अगर बगल का बूथ देख के आइए, सेंटर फोर्स चेक कर रही है पहले आईडी, फिर अंदर चेक हो रहा है आईडी, फिर एक और चेक हो रहा है आईडी। अगर 3 बार आईडी चेक होगा तो वोटर अपना वोट कब डालेगा?
तो आपको लगता है आईडी चेक नहीं होना चाहिए?
नहीं, जो नियम है उसके तहत होना चाहिए। जिसका अधिकार है उसको चेक होना चाहिए।
चुनौती आप मानते हैं?
कोई चुनौती नहीं है।
या फिर इसकी
देखिए, जो बेईमानी हो रही है रामपुर, वो सब देख रहे हैं कि जहां पुलिस प्रशासन की कोशिश ये होनी चाहिए कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वोट आए, निकले और पड़े, वहां कोशिश ये चल रही है कि वोट ना पड़ पाए। कर्फ्यू सा लगा दिया डेमोक्रेसी में। अगर आप वोट के दिन कर्फ्यू लगा दोगे तो आप डेमोक्रेसी को हिला रहे हैं, आप डेमोक्रेसी को खत्म कर रहे हैं। और ये जाना किसके इशारे पे ये सब कुछ हो रहा है?
एक आखिरी सवाल, नेताजी की विरासत है, एक तरफ उनके शिष्य कहे जाते हैं रघुराज शाक्य और एक तरफ उनकी पुत्रवधू।
देखिए, नेताजी की सबसे बड़ी विरासत है समाजवादी विचारधारा जो हमको दी है। नेताजी ने जीवन भर आर्थिक, सामाजिक और राजनीतिक पहलुओं के जो अपना पक्ष रखा और जहां ऊंचाई तक पहुंचाया लोगों को। मैं समझता हूं समाजवादी विचारधारा नेताजी यहाँ तक लेकर के आए हैं। हमारी सबकी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि अगले 50 साल तक इस विचारधारा को और कैसे मजबूत किया जाए।
चुनाव में धांधली के आरोपों के बीच अब आप क्या करेंगे आगे?
धांधली पे शिकायत कर रहे हैं, कुछ जगह शिकायतें सुनी जा रही हैं, कुछ जगह शिकायतें नहीं सुनी जा रही हैं। मैं समझता हूँ इलेक्शन कमीशन को निगरानी रखनी चाहिए और पूरी निगरानी इसलिए रखनी चाहिए कि जब सरकार और प्रशासन मिल जाएगा तो लोकतंत्र कैसे बचेगा।
पिछले उपचुनाव के नतीजे उतने अच्छे नहीं रहते, इस उपचुनाव में क्या उम्मीद है?
कई बार उपचुनाव में बहुत अच्छे नतीजे आए हैं और पिछली बार भी बेईमानी हुई थी। मैं समझता हूँ इस बार वोटर बेईमानी से नहीं डर रहा है, इसीलिए ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वोट डालने निकले हैं।
We are right now at Delhi's Karkardoma, where outside this hotel, that is the Ginger Hotel, a massive fire was reported at the 3rd floor of this very hotel at around 9:15 a.m. As you can see in the visuals, 11 fire tenders at that point of time were rushed to spot. Total chaos was witnessed. Right now, we do have some ambulances and some fire tenders. We are getting to learn that nobody so far has been injured in the fire, in the mishap that took place in this very hotel so far. However, the rescue operations right now are still underway. The people are telling us that the reason for why the fire broke out has not been known yet. However, the situation is now under control. Remember, it is to be noted that it is a hotel and the fire was at 9:13 a.m. in the morning at the 3rd floor, and the 3rd floor is a banquet hall. So it is likely to be said that the fire took off from the kitchen, but however, nothing has been confirmed by official sources as well. We have few people here who were there at the rescue op. Sir, आप वहाँ पे थे जब आग लगी थी?
हाँ जी।
क्या सिनेरियो था वहाँ पे? क्या हो सकता है वहाँ पे? क्यों आग लगी थी?
इसके बारे में तो पता नहीं। हम बगल वाले होटल से आए थे, जब हमें पता लगा आग लगी तो हम तुरंत आए। उसके बाद हमने अपना किया।
कितना ज़्यादा फैल गई थी आग?
आग तो पूरी बिल्डिंग में फैल गई थी। काफ़ी लोग गैस एक ही फ्लोर पे लगने की वजह से पूरे गैस फ्लोर पे भी धुआं हो गया, इस वजह से लग गई थी आग। एक ही फ्लोर पे लगी थी आग।
लेकिन सारे लोग
Regarding Pakistan, I spent some time with the minister outlining, the nature of our ties, the challenge of cross-border terrorism.
And essentially the fact that, we engage Pakistan bilaterally on whatever outstanding issues, but the main challenge today is really the fact that we cannot have talks while there is terrorism. And I think there was understanding from the German side in this regard.
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic PMark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
आज के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned.
Viewers, the second phase of polling is underway in Gujarat. The voter turnout has soared to 34.74% now. And a short while back, the Prime Minister had cast his vote in Ahmedabad. And he also said that everybody, whether it be men, women, everyone from the first-time voter to the senior citizen should come out and vote in large numbers. Here's a full story.
At around 8:50 a.m., Prime Minister Narendra Modi's grand convoy left from Raj Bhavan in Gandhinagar. The convoy headed for Nishan Public School poll booth in Rani. Thousands lined up and cheered for the Prime Minister. Huge crowds were seen on both sides of the road outside PM's poll booth. And the cheers grew louder as the crowds caught the first glimpse of the Prime Minister's cavalcade arriving. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted the supporters and waved at the crowd. Prime Minister entered Nishan Public School and greeted the officials at the polling booth, stood in the queue to cast his vote. Shortly, PM Modi got his finger inked, participating in the festival of democracy. PM was welcomed by his brother and after spending some time with him, he stepped out and greeted the supporters who had been waiting for hours to get a glimpse of PM. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the Election Commission and people of Gujarat.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं, धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन को भी हृदय से बहुत-बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
And as Gujarat counts down to December 8, Prime Minister has risen the temperatures in battleground Gujarat. The Modi factor is undeniable. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Viewers, Modi chants reverberate in Gujarat, but Congress politics is on. They're calling the Prime Minister's walk a violation. The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
3 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Last post to post, live coverage only on Republic TV.
Motorlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone station is shut, which means all those people who are hoping to go back home. When you look at that crowd, what's the message that Houston is sending out? There is also anticipation of a few announcements being made. What are your expectations when they both come up on stage? Are you expecting something big? I'm at the Jama Masjid in Bandra and there are thousands of people behind me. Why they are protesting, but the situation is pretty tense. Thousands of people that you see. 4 दिन की रिमांड है, 4 दिन की रिमांड. कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? पत्राचौल स्कैम, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का चार्ज के बारे में क्या बोलना चाहते हैं आप?
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic PMark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Chairman.
Visuals right now of a Pakistan drone which has been shot down by the BSF in Amritsar. And this is not the first time Pakistan drones are being sent across the border again and again by Pakistan. And Gursimran is joining us live. Gursimran, now one more case of a drone being shot down by the BSF in Amritsar, and our forces acting fast once again to make sure a Pakistani drone which is being sent across the border is shot down and stopped in its tracks.
भाई आवाज नहीं आ रही.
Gursimran, can you hear me? Gursimran, if you can hear me, I'll just repeat my question to you. All our viewers can see the Pakistan drone which has been shot down with the BSF, and the drone is clearly on our screens. Not the first time Pakistan has sent drones. Multiple times this year Pakistan has sent drones across the border, Gursimran.
Yes, this is another such attempt of Pakistani side to push in drones into the Indian territory, and this quadcopter has been brought down by the BSF. It is in the Amritsar sector where this Pakistani drone has been brought down. And what we are getting to know that late last night, this drone tried to enter the Indian territory in the Rodawali Kala area that falls in the Amritsar sector of international border, and the BSF troops fired at this Pakistani drone. And later, when the searches were carried out in the area, they recovered a quadcopter drone with one packet of heroin. See, this is not a small packet of heroin. This seems to be a huge consignment of narcotics that was being pushed from Pakistan to Indian territory along the border using a drone. Yesterday, we also saw that in the Taran there was a Pakistan down in the Fazilka sector. So time and again, the Pakistani drones being brought down.
Right. Well, Gursimran, hold on for a second. We're getting some more breaking updates coming in at this point of time. Now, the Supreme Court has gone ahead and taken cognizance of the drug menace The Supreme Court has pulled up the Punjab government this time. Viewers asking what is the police doing about this. Supreme Court has also warned the Punjab government and says clearly, curb with the drug menace or the youth will be finished. Gursimran, we know for a while right now that the problem of drugs persists in Punjab. The Supreme Court, the Apex Court, taking note of that and clearly putting the message out right now. Why is the police not acting fast enough to curb the drug menace, Gursimran? Amandeep, can you hear me? I know Amandeep is joining us right now. Amandeep, Supreme Court making a very, very clear stance right now and asking the Punjab government, pulling out the Punjab government about drugs. Drug menace continues there in Punjab. Supreme Court taking note of it.
Well, absolutely, Shivaji. The point is that Supreme Court has made certain kind of observation, quoting that every mohalla in the Punjab is having its own illegal bhatti. That is leading to making the illicit liquor. And in fact, now they have pulled up the Punjab government and seeking a report, a detailed report, in fact, on this. And even this is a very serious issue, just because Punjab is suffering from the drug menace since years. Not only now, since years, and they are reaching to no problem. Every second day, we are receiving the videos from several parts of the Punjab that people are hanging up after overdose of the drugs. And in fact, they are not in position in their own senses as well. And that all the videos, especially from the youth platforms, though Punjab police has also run a campaign against the drugs, but that was not fully materialized, and even the drug menace still is the issue in Punjab. So that is the reason. So now the Punjab government will file a detailed report that what all action is taking against those who are supplying the drugs and those who are consuming the drugs. And in fact, what is the present situation on the ground of Punjab regarding the drugs? Either they are able to de-escalate the issue, or the issue is still sustaining in the same ratio. So now the Supreme Court has directly intervened into the issue, and there is a tough situation for the Punjab government as well.
Right.
Yes, Shivangi.
Amandeep, hold on for a second. I'm being joined right now by our executive editor, legal, joining us, Heeraben. This is a very, very important point which has been raised by the Supreme Court.
Well, absolutely. Today, the top court of the country comes down very, very clearly on what's been spoken about in the drug menace case. The Supreme Court has said stern remarks being made. Youth will be finished otherwise in Punjab. So the Justice Shah has also said every mohalla there is a bhatti. What is the local police doing? They've asked questions. They've also said this recovery of penalty is not the option. How many FIRs are filed? Why is there no charge sheet? Are those people even being charged? So the Supreme Court, taking very stern note of what's happening in the drug menace in the state of Punjab, makes these observations. The bench of Justice Ravi Kumar and Justice Shah hearing a matter over the Punjab drug menace.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Vidya Bhardwaj, our executive editor, legal, for getting us all the top updates right now. Supreme Court has made a very, very big warning right now, saying that why had there been no charge sheet on drugs, pulling up the Punjab government on the drug menace which persists in Punjab.
I think first we need to establish the facts very clearly. The European Union, between February 24th and 17th November,
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally in the suspicion of theft.
आज के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है, अपने जवानों की शहादत पर। उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Last post to post, live coverage only on Republic TV.
Waterlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone Station.
It's the final fight as voting is underway for the second phase of the Gujarat elections.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
Amid the Modi chants, PM casts his vote in Ahmedabad, lauds the Election Commission for conducting peaceful polls. Congress to complain to the Election Commission over Prime Minister's walk before his vote, calls it a road show and hence a violation. Home Minister Amit Shah, along with his family members, casts his vote in Ahmedabad, appeals to first-time voters to step out. It's a prestige battle in Uttar Pradesh's Mainpuri. The seat left vacant after Mulayam Singh Yadav's demise is what people are vying for. And viewers, catch the biggest and most accurate exit polls on Republic with India's #1 news team starting 5 p.m.
Well, a very good afternoon, viewers. Second phase of polling is on right now. The voter turnout has soared from around 19% around 11 a.m. Now it is 34.74%. And Ankit is also joining us right now. Ankit, we have been seeing a lot of big political leaders today. We have seen Amit Shah voting today. We have seen PM Modi voting today as well. The Prime Minister urging everyone to come out and vote in large numbers, Ankit. And it's going to be a very, very significant election. The first phase we saw, which happened a few days ago. Now the second phase will also decide the political trajectory of a nation, as general elections are also coming very, very soon, Ankit.
Yes, Shivangi, we are most certainly in the lead up. And I think what's helped in the phase 2 of the Gujarat elections is, like you mentioned, the senior leaders going out and voting. It doesn't get any bigger than the Prime Minister and the Home Minister on their home turf in the big cities in Gujarat, going out, voting, setting that example, and also the Prime Minister's mother going out and voting as well. It just tells people to go out and exercise their franchise. We've had a frenetic day of voting so far. There are about 3 hours to go before the polls close, and then we can bring you the exit poll. But let's take a look right now at what the various leaders have said and what they indicated as they went to the polls today, Shivangi.
Right, so let's have a look at this report.
At around 8:50 a.m., Prime Minister Narendra Modi's grand convoy left from Raj Bhavan in Gandhinagar. The convoy headed for Nishan Public School poll booth in Rani. Thousands lined up and cheered for the Prime Minister. Huge crowds were seen on both sides of the road outside PM's poll booth. And the cheers grew louder as the crowds caught the first glimpse of the Prime Minister's cavalcade arriving. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted the supporters and waved at the crowd. Prime Minister entered Nishan Public School and greeted the officials at the polling booth, stood in the queue to cast his vote. Shortly, PM Modi got his finger inked, participating in the festival of democracy. PM was welcomed by his brother, and after spending some time with him, he stepped out and greeted the supporters who had been waiting for hours to get a glimpse of PM. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the Election Commission and people of Gujarat.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं, धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन को भी हृदय से बहुत-बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
And as Gujarat counts down to December 8, Prime Minister has risen the temperatures in battleground Gujarat. The Modi factor is undeniable. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So we just saw the Prime Minister voting earlier today, but a party that was watching very closely and appears to have taken an issue with everything he did today is the Congress, which wants to file a complaint with the Election Commission because he took a bit of a walk before he voted. They're saying that it was another road show which is not allowed as per the model code. Now, a person who has weighed in on that is West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Let's listen in now to what Mamata Banerjee had to say amidst this election taking place in Gujarat.
They are the special people. It is the Election Commission duty. As a political party, we abide by the Election Commission. But what Supreme Court said, I do agree, cent %. That Election Commission also, there should be some system for nomination of the Election Commission and all this.
He did a road show today.
Election day road show is banned. But for them, they may be excused. This is the basic difference. They are the special people. It is the Election Commission duty. As a political party, we abide by the Election Commission. But what Supreme Court said, I do agree, cent %. That Election Commission also, there should be some system for nomination of the Election Commission and all this.
He did a road show today.
Election day road show is banned. But for them, they may be excused. This is the basic difference.
Well, viewers, Mamata Banerjee is saying that special treatment being given to some people, and as a Congress is saying that there has been a violation of the model code of conduct. Congress clearly on a back foot right now because Congress has been counting on anti-incumbency, but the BJP this time has fielded a lot of fresh faces. My colleague Priyanka has also been on the ground and she is filing this report. She has spoken to Dr. Yamal Vyas of the BJP. Let's listen in.
Basically, first of all, I would like to say that the Congress has seen a huge defeat before it, and therefore they are now actually in panic, and that is why they are making this kind of complaints. Not only that, but the Congress has somehow always been anti Mr. Modi and anti-Gujarat also. And when they see Mr. Modi's popularity of this kind, when people turn up on their terraces to see him, I think it's only a jealousy and probably dislike for Mr. Modi and Gujarat, which is making them make this kind of complaints.
But are you saying then that there is no...
getting some breaking news at this point of time, viewers. Getting breaking news. Police seeking stringent law on forced religious conversions. The Supreme Court hearing has begun, viewers. The last week, the Gujarat government has filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court supporting steps to curb forced conversions. The government is calling for a national law to ban forced conversions. And of course, we are getting a lot of information as well on the Supreme Court hearing forced conversion plea. Now, this is happening right now as we speak as well, viewers. And this is, in fact, happening as we speak. As we speak, the Gujarat government also telling the Supreme Court that district magistrates not for religious conversion a precautionary measure. It protects women and backward classes. So let's go across to Heeraben, our executive editor, legal. Heeraben, women and backward classes are people, the section of society is very vulnerable to forced conversion. Supreme Court really putting ahead and putting out some statements there. Take our viewers through the significance of what's happening right now.
The Supreme Court is hearing a plea filed by Ashwini Upadhyay, who is seeking measures to control forced religious conversion. This has caused a huge uproar with the Solicitor General in a 9-page affidavit for the central government telling the Supreme Court that they believe forced conversions is a grave matter. Cognizance needs to be taken. All the states will be filing their replies in the case. They have been impleaded. Earlier, Justice Shah's bench had very clearly made a statement. They believe this is a matter that can harm national security and democracy, and hence the security of the country is of immense importance. Therefore, action needs to be taken. Today in the courtroom, as we are speaking, Solicitor General did say we are getting information from the state. They've also given details of what Gujarat in a 28-page affidavit has said supporting a law on forced conversion. However, the bench said every time we ask for any information, it is said it's a serious matter. And therefore, the Supreme Court is trying to state that they want to quickly hear the matter and pass some sort of a law on this case. This will only happen once everybody has given out great details in the court. As of now, Justice Shah and Justice Ravi Kumar's bench hearing the matter, where the court has said we are going to take a look at what happened. Solicitor General did say that there are several ways of conversion. One is a change of heart, but it's the allurement, deception, fourth aspect which the court needs to decide on. So a high-octave hearing in the Supreme Court on the post-religious conversions case, where we are still seeing what the court will do. It's obvious that in one hearing they will not come out to an order, but a crystal clear hearing in which the Supreme Court means business, where they want post-religious conversions in the country to stop.
Now, Heeraben, if you'll stay with us, another aspect is, of course, like you pointed out last week, it was the central government that has filed its affidavit. Now, are we looking at a potential for states also to be filing their responses, or will the centre collate their various laws, like the Solicitor General is referring to Gujarat's stringent law, is what we are getting to hear. So what is going to happen further? Are there other parties who are going to be involved seeking inputs?
Ankit, good question, because what we are hoping for is that all the states will file replies in the Supreme Court in this case where they have been impleaded. Gujarat had also been impleaded, and Gujarat has filed a 28-page affidavit in the top court where they have very, very clearly stated they had a law in 2003, I believe, in which they had said post-religious conversion should go. It's 2003 or 2013. I'll recheck those facts. But clearly they said we have an act, and that act had also said post-religious conversion should go. Now we are waiting to see what and how soon this will happen. As that is also happening, the court has now been told by the Solicitor General in a 9-page affidavit for the central government that we have already passed a lot of, we've already said several states have already passed this law. So we have to see how soon will this law become a central law for the entire nation. The Supreme Court in one of the first hearings, I think in November, had stated that this is a matter of national security and democracy of the country, which is of immense importance. Keeping that in mind, they had stated we want to go ahead and quickly pass a law to ensure that post-religious conversions don't become the time of the day. As we are speaking, the Supreme Court hearing continues. The government of the government of Gujarat had said in 2003 they had passed a law to stop religious conversions in the state. We're also hoping, Ankit, that others, the others also file similar applications and affidavits in the post-religious conversions case before the top court. The bench has said charity and social services are good things, but there should not be any wrong motive behind conversion, which frankly, we've done several shows on Republic TV as well. We've shown all across several villages and states that there is post-religious conversion, and the bench is absolutely against that. The central government also against it. Hopefully, once this hearing is concluded, we should have a law on post-religious conversions in India.
Right. Rhythm, so right now there is no federal law on forced conversions. There's no national law, but also Supreme Court, and if you could tell our viewers as well, Rhythm. On that note, I think we will, of course, stay on the story. What we are learning so far is that Supreme Court on conversions pleads a serious matter. Earlier, Supreme Court had remarked that forced religious conversions is a threat to the independence and sovereignty of the country. Thank you, Rhythm, for joining us. Rhythm Bhardwaj, our executive editor, legal, getting a top updates as the hearing is happening right now. A couple of important points being made. Please seeking stringent law on forced religious conversions. The Supreme Court hearing has begun on that.
Right now we are in Jammu, the Resident Commissioner office, where the Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest, and this protest is against the threats that have been issued by the terror group, the Resistance Front. The terror group has issued a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target. We'll try to speak to some of the Kashmiri Pandits, because this Kashmiri Pandit community has been on the target of the terror group for a long, and yesterday itself they have issued another threat to these Kashmiri Pandit employees. Time and again, day before yesterday when we spoke, you said that we have been demanding, but no heed is being paid to our demand.
Absolutely, sir. You are quite right that we are demanding for right to live since May this year, but our demands are not being heard. In respect, the government has stopped our salaries. Giving a respite to our views, the government has stopped our salaries, and now a recent list of 57 employees of our community has been issued by TRF, and they are threatened to be killed. So this is the breach of security in respect of administration, and we demand the administration to take a quick action regarding our demands and relocate us to Jammu as soon as possible.
So this is the Kashmiri Pandit community that have come here in the Relief Commissioner office demanding that don't rehabilitate us on the cost of our blood, don't orphanage our childs, and they are being punished because they are the nationalist voices. They say that the only solution they have is the relocation of the Kashmiri Pandit community, and this has been their demand for quite a while, that they are sitting on a protest for over 200 days, and the new threats from the terror groups have made a sense of fear among them. This has increased a sense of fear.
Let's take a look at some of the top stories from across the nation now. Like you just saw, as the Lashkar released a Kashmiri Pandit hit list, the Kashmiri Pandit community are protesting in Jammu, demanding a transfer out of Kashmir. The Pandit employees staged protests in Jammu, demanding that they be transferred out of the region.
2 people have died as a truck collided with a car in Madhya Pradesh. Police immediately rushed to the spot as the locals informed them of the incident.
Pro-Kannada activists staged a protest in Chinnamma Circle in Belgavi against the visit of Maharashtra ministers there. With the interstate border row still simmering, the Karnataka government has requested Maharashtra to not send its ministers to Belgavi tomorrow.
A suo moto case has been registered in connection with painting walls with joint CFI at 9 places in Shivamogga. Searches are on for the accused is underway.
PM Modi's brother Somabhai Modi got emotional as he talked about the Prime Minister who visited him earlier in the day. He said that people cannot ignore the kind of work the centre has done since 2014.
सरकार से संतुष्ट हैं?
बहुत संतुष्ट है।
बहुत संतुष्ट हैं। परिवार से जुड़े रहते हैं नरेंद्र मोदी, बातचीत होती रहती है आपकी?
नहीं जुड़े रहते हैं।
काम में व्यस्त रहते हैं, जनता के लिए काम करते हैं।
और राष्ट्र के लिए है।
Tensions prevailed in Chittoor, Andhra Pradesh, as the house of industrialist and Jana Sena leader B. Ramachandra Yadav was vandalized allegedly by the YSRCP supporters. Jana Sena leader has alleged large numbers of supporters came and attacked his house with stones, rods, sticks and other weapons.
In a big development on the death anniversary of former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha, OPS has hinted to Republic about his intention to reunite with Edapadi Palaniswamy. OPS says that peace will prevail in the AIDMK only if they are reunited.
Well, thousands gathered on streets to mock former CM and AIADMK leader J. Jayalalitha's 6th death anniversary. Sasikala too marches to the memorial.
And we are also, viewers, getting news from the national capital where a 4-story building has collapsed in Shastri Nagar in North Delhi. Rescue operations are underway, we are told, in full swing.
A day ahead of the 50th founding day of the AIADMK, Shashikala broke into tears as she paid tribute to former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha in Chennai. This was Shashikala's first visit to the memorial since she was released from the Parappana Agrahara prison in Bengaluru in January after serving a 4-year jail term in disproportionate assets case. Shashikala's last visit to the memorial was in 2017 before surrendering herself as a convict in the disproportionate assets case. She had then taken a vow by hitting the marble slabs of the memorial. Scores of party workers and supporters gathered at the memorial in Jayalalitha's memory. As Jayalalitha was being remembered on her 6th death anniversary by scores of party workers and supporters, rival AIADMK leaders too paid tribute separately. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Viewers, Farooq Abdullah was re-elected president of the National Conference for another term just a short while back, but he has made a controversial comment yet again. Here's the comment, just listen in very, very closely, viewers, which has been made by the National Conference leader.
और सुनाओ, मैं वज़ीर आला इसे मैं सरकार को याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ। जो इलेक्शन थे, मैं डोडा गया। डोडा में एक गांव में पहुंचा, जहां इलेक्शन देना था उनको, वहां वोटिंग मशीन रखी थी। वहां पे मैंने किसी को नहीं देखा, क्योंकि वो फौजी कैंप के अंदर उन्होंने वो मशीन रखी थी। और जब मैंने वहां पूछा यहाँ क्या हुआ, कहा यहाँ कोई आया नहीं। मैंने कहा अच्छा मैं गांव की तरफ चला था। गांव की तरफ पहुंचा तो एक वहां कोई नहीं था, एक दुकानदार था, उसकी बीवी की दुकान। मैं बैठ गया, मैंने मुझे चाय का मीडिया ये सुन लीजिए। मैंने उससे पूछा क्या हुआ, लोग किधर गए? उन्होंने कहा इन लोगों ने हमें फौजी में कहा खबरदार मशीन के पास आओगे हम तुम्हारी टांगे तोड़ेंगे। आज मैं फौज से कहना चाहता हूं खबरदार। मैंने कहा आज मैं आपसे गुजारिश कर रहा हूं, ऐसा काम नहीं करिए। आपको भेजना होता है, लोग जिसको वोट दें उसको देने दीजिए, आप उसमें इंटरफेरेंस नहीं करिए। मैं हुकूमत से भी कहता हूं खबरदार रहिएगा, नहीं तो वो तूफान आएगा जिस तूफान को आप फिर कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते। हम जान देने के तैयार हो जाएंगे, याद रखिए।
So, viewers, you just heard there, re-elected to the presidentship of the National Conference, Farooq Abdullah making a completely objectionable statement. He is recounting a story where he says that people told him that the polling stations were empty because the Indian army had made a threat, and then he counter-threatens the Indian army that there better not be anything of the like this time or there will be a massive storm. We've seen how Farooq Abdullah had first ruled himself out of contention for remaining the chief of the National Conference. But apparently the party wanted him and only him, and not even his son Omar Abdullah, who apparently has been rejected by the party, at least insofar as this election goes. And now, after being re-elected, Farooq Abdullah has jumped straight into the attack, targeting the forces directly. Shivangi, what do you make of this statement that has come in a whirlwind series of events in Jammu and Kashmir insofar as the national conference goes?
Right, well, we are seeing another comment being made by Farooq Abdullah. This was the first time, Ankit, because Farooq Abdullah has sparked a row again and again as well. Couple of comments being made. This time he says that Doda voters were threatened by the army. Ankit, we are getting a guest as well on the phone line. We can take that.
So we have former Jammu and Kashmir Deputy Chief Minister Kavinder Gupta joining us. Mr. Kavinder Gupta, your response to this statement by Farooq Abdullah.
अब क्यों याद आया? शायद इलेक्शन होने
Mr. Gupta, can you hear me?
लगता है कि yeah, I am speaking. Hello.
Ji, continue. Yes, please. Continue, sir.
नंबर एक तो फारूक अब्दुल्ला को अब याद क्यों आया इस वक्त? ये घटना 15 साल पहले या 20 साल पहले की ये सुना रही है। क्या कहना क्या चाहते हैं? दरअसल इनकी पार्टी आज बिल्कुल समाप्त हो चुकी है, खत्म हो चुकी है। लोगों को अब विश्वास इनसे उठ गया है, तो उसका एक बहाना बना करके एक फ्रस्ट्रेशन के माध्यम से ये इस प्रकार की बातें कर रहे हैं। जो चीफ मिनिस्टर रहता है वो यूनिफाइड कमांड का हेड रहता है, तो जब कोई सुरक्षा का काम होता है, बॉर्डर की सुरक्षा होती है, हालात लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का मसला होता है, तब तो इनको आर्मी वाले याद आते हैं। इनको ये भी याद होना चाहिए कि 2014 के सैलाब से भी आप सभी लोगों ने सभी लोगों को इन्होंने ही बचाया था, आर्मी उस वक्त हमारी ने। लेकिन ये जो लोग अपना बलिदान देकर के काम करते हैं, उस प्रकार की भाषा बोलना उन पर ये सरासर शर्मनाक है, और मुझे लगता है इसे माफी मांगनी चाहिए आर्मी से। और आर्मी के कारण से ही आज कश्मीर में यहाँ पर आतंकवाद खत्म हुआ है, और उसके साथ ही बॉर्डर की सुरक्षा हो रही है। तो फारूक अब्दुल्ला की ये फ्रस्ट्रेशन बताती है, और खुद जो पार्टी का बेस खत्म हो गया उसके कारण से इस प्रकार की बातें क्या पड़ी।
जी बिल्कुल। That's Kavinder Gupta, former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, hitting out at Farooq Abdullah and demanding that he apologize to the army for his statement that he has made right after being re-elected as the chief of the JKNC. Same Farooq Abdullah had earlier asked for China to intercede in the matter of Article 370. Now he's making threats and warnings against the Indian army and false allegations to boot. We are tracking this very closely, viewers. Let's also, in the meantime, listen in to some of the reactions as Gujarat went to the polls earlier today.
गणतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं, धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन को भी हृदय से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, तो उन्होंने बहुत ही शानदार तरीके से पूरे विश्व में भारत के लोकतंत्र की प्रतिष्ठा को बढ़े, इस प्रकार से चुनाव का संचालन करने की एक महान परंपरा विकसित की है।
सरकार से संतुष्ट हैं?
बहुत संतुष्ट है।
परिवार से जुड़े रहते हैं नरेंद्र मोदी? बातचीत होती रहती है आपकी?
नहीं जुड़े रहते,
काम में व्यस्त रहते हैं, जनता के लिए काम करते हैं।
वो राष्ट्र के लिए है।
Viewers, Gujarat is polling today in the second phase. Coming up on the other side as well, much more coming up. It's a prestige battle in UP's Mainpuri. The seat vacant after Mulayam Singh Yadav's demise.
And then viewers, catch the biggest and most accurate exit poll on Republic with India's #1 news team for these recently concluded elections in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh today evening, starting 5 p.m.
मेरी नजरों से चुना, तेरी हरकतों से सुना। कभी जीती तू, कभी मैं हारा, फिर भी खूबसूरत है ये नजारा, क्योंकि इसमें है खुला
कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
अमेजिंग स्पेसेस के लिए ग्रीन लैम लैमिनेट्स, कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic PMark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है। मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए। तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Last post to post, live coverage only on Republic TV.
Waterlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone station is shut, which means all those people who are hoping to go back home. When you look at that crowd, what's the message that Houston is sending out? There is also anticipation of a few announcements being made. What are your expectations when they both come up on stage? Are you expecting something big? I'm at the Jama Masjid in Bandra and there are thousands of people behind me. Why they are protesting, but the situation is pretty tense. Thousands of people that you see. 4 दिन की रिमांड है, 4 दिन की रिमांड. कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? पत्राचौल स्कैम, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का चार्ज के बारे में क्या बोलना चाहते हैं आप?
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's the final fight as voting is underway for the second phase of the Gujarat elections. Almost 35% voter turnout till 1 p.m.
लोकतंत्र के उत्सव के लिए देश के नागरिकों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं.
Amid the Modi chants, PM casts his vote in Ahmedabad, lauds the Election Commission for conducting peaceful polls. Congress to complain to the Election Commission over Prime Minister's walk before he cast his vote, calls it a road show and hence a violation. Home Minister Amit Shah, along with his family, casts his vote in Ahmedabad, appeals to first-time voters to step out and vote. It's a prestige battle in Uttar Pradesh's Mainpuri. The seat that fell vacant after Mulayam Singh Yadav's demise is up for grabs. And viewers, catch the biggest and most accurate exit poll on Republic today evening with India's #1 news team.
Viewers, getting some breaking news coming in at this point of time, viewers, where there is a hearing which is happening on forced conversions. A lot of pleas being heard on forced conversions as well, viewers, at this point of time, where Supreme Court has directed government to file a detailed affidavit. This is a very, very big topic as well because a lot of talk has been happening. The Supreme Court itself has been saying that the time has come right now to stop forced conversions. Ankit, this is a very, very important hearing happening right now.
Absolutely, and from what we are given to understand, Shivangi, the Supreme Court has directed the centre to file a detailed affidavit to provide complete information on the laws made against conversion in various states. The Supreme Court will hear the matter on Monday. Let's listen in to what the applicant in this case, the petitioner Ashwini Upadhyay, had to say.
ऑब्जर्वेशन ही बोलना है सर. रोल हमारा नवी नहीं कर रहे सर. आज धर्मांतरण में कोर्ट ने काफी कड़ी टिप्पणी की. क्या कहा कोर्ट ने?
माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा ये बहुत सीरियस मैटर है. जो कन्वर्जन है वो धोखे से हो रहा है, चाहे लालच दे के हो रहा है, बहुत सीरियस मैटर है और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को इसमें कुछ न कुछ आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के सॉलिसिटर जनरल से पूछा कि आज आपने अभी तक इसमें क्या क्या स्टेप्स लिए, क्या आपने राज्यों से बात किया। तो सॉलिसिटर जनरल का कहना था उनको थोड़ा और टाइम चाहिए राज्यों से बात करने के लिए, और फ्राइडे तक वो राज्यों से बात करके सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट कन्वर्जन को रोकने के लिए क्या स्टेप लेने जा रहा है वो फ्राइडे तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट को बताएंगे। कुछ लोग आज आ गए थे, कुछ केरल से आए थे, कुछ तमिलनाडु से आए थे और देश के अलग अलग राज्यों से हमारी PIL का विरोध करने के लिए। वो कह रहे थे ये PIL मेंटेनेबल नहीं है, ये PIL डिसमिस होनी चाहिए। माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्लियर कट कह दिया कि हम आपके इस रिक्वेस्ट को रिजेक्ट करते हैं। मेंटेनेबिलिटी के ऊपर कोई बात नहीं होगी, पिटिशनर के ऊपर कोई बात नहीं होगी, जो बात होगी वो कन्वर्जन के ऊपर होगी। अगर आप कन्वर्जन का सपोर्ट करते हैं या कन्वर्जन का अपोज करते हैं, आप जो स्टैंड अपना लीजिए कन्वर्जन पे लीजिए, पिटिशनर के ऊपर या PIL की मेंटेनेबिलिटी पर कोई बात नहीं होगी। तो आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बहुत क्लियर कट कह दिया है। फ्राइडे तक केंद्र सरकार अपना जवाब दाखिल कर देंगे, मंडे को इस पे सुनवाई होगी। हमारा ये कहना है इंडियन पिनल कोड का जो चैप्टर 15 है उसका नाम है ऑफेंस रिलेटिंग टू रिलीजन, लेकिन वो कानून पूरा ठीक नहीं है। धार्मिक भावना भड़काना, धार्मिक भावना आहत करना तो अपराध है, लेकिन धर्मांतरण करना अपराध नहीं है, क्योंकि IPC में ऐसा कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है। इसलिए हम कह रहे हैं अलग से कानून बनाने की बजाय इंडियन पिनल कोड का जो चैप्टर 15 है उसी को बदला जाए, जिससे कि FIR दर्ज करना आसान हो जाएगी। स्पेशल एक्ट बनते हैं तो FIR ठीक से दर्ज नहीं होती। IPC में जब प्रोविजन होता है तो FIR आराम से दर्ज होती है। पुलिस के जो सिपाही होते हैं आराम से FIR दर्ज कर लेते हैं, या 100 नंबर पे कॉल करिए, 112 नंबर पे कॉल करिए तो आ भी जाते हैं। स्पेशल अगर एक्ट बनेगा तो पुलिस उसमें ठीक से रिस्पॉन्स नहीं करती है। इसलिए हमने कहा है IPC का जो चैप्टर 15 है ऑफेंस रिलेटिंग टू रिलीजन, उसी को अमेंड करके उसी में 2 नई धारा जोड़ दिया जाए, जिससे धर्मांतरण पूरे देश में अपराध हो जाएगा।
आपकी एक इकलौती पिटीशन पड़ी थी, अचानक जब नोटिस हुआ उसके बाद उसके विरोध में कई पिटीशंस आ गई। आखिर वो विरोध किस आधार पे कर रहे हैं?
देखिए, जिस तरीके से हमारी PIL का विरोध करने के लिए इतनी सारी PIL आई हैं और उसपे बड़े बड़े वकील खड़े हो रहे हैं, ऐसे ऐसे वकील खड़े हो रहे हैं जो एक बार में सुनवाई का 10 लाख रुपए लेते हैं, 5 लाख रुपए लेते हैं। तो स्वाभाविक सी बात है, इसका मतलब बाहर से जो पैसा आ रहा था, अगर कन्वर्जन बंद हो जाएगा तो उनकी फंडिंग बंद हो जाएगी। चाहे वो खाड़ी देशों से हजारों करोड़ रुपए आता है हवाला के जरिए, या वेस्ट कंट्रीज से जो FCRA के जरिए आता है हजारों करोड़, वो आ रहा है कन्वर्जन के लिए। जब इंडियन पिनल कोड में कठोर कानून बन जाएगा, लोग 100 नंबर पे कॉल करके पुलिस को बुलाएंगे तो इनकी दुकान बंद हो जाएगी। वो सारे लोग परेशान हैं, वही सारे लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आके मेरी PIL का विरोध कर रहे हैं।
That was Ashwini Upadhyay, the petitioner in this matter, which the Supreme Court is taking very seriously. The Supreme Court has asked the centre to now file a detailed affidavit with details of what all the various states are doing, the laws and steps that they have taken to curb this threat of forced conversions, and it needs to submit this affidavit to the Supreme Court before the next hearing. Meanwhile, from what Ashwini Upadhyay said while speaking to the media after the hearing concluded today, it appears that the court has said that there would not be a discussion on the maintainability or on what anyone has to say about the petitioner. The matter that will be taken up is forced conversions. He also mentioned how there needs to be a law under the Indian Penal Code because as things stand at the moment, there is not enough reason for the police to go after someone who is conducting forced conversions. We'll try and get Heeraben Anand Bharadwaj, our Executive Editor Law and Governance, to join and share more details on this, to elaborate on what we can expect next and what's gone on in court. But clearly this is a topic that the Supreme Court is hearing with all seriousness. Last week, the centre had filed an affidavit, a 9-page affidavit, in which it had spelt out that it views religious conversions that are forced in a very strict manner. It views them as a big threat, and it had also listed the various states that have taken law into their own hands with regards to framing acts against this. We'll track this story very, very closely, viewers. It's a big story. The centre is to file an affidavit in the Supreme Court. Viewers, it's the second and final phase of the Gujarat Assembly elections today. Just a couple of hours remain before the polling booths close. And one of the first people to go and cast their vote today was the Prime Minister, who voted in Ahmedabad. Now, while he was there voting, the cameras got a good glimpse at him. He posed for a couple of photos. but the Congress appears to have taken an issue with this. The Congress says that this constitutes a model code of conduct violation, and hence now it has filed a complaint, the copy of which is now on your screens, with the Election Commission. The Congress party is of the opinion that the Prime Minister, with his walk before he cast his vote, violated the model code of conduct. They have equated it to holding a roadshow, which is no longer allowed after the final polling concludes, the final campaigning concludes just a few days before the polls take place. And the Congress in this manner has filed a complaint with the Election Commission. We've also heard a number of people who have spoken about this matter, like the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee. We also have Priyanka now joining us from Gujarat. Priyanka, the Congress taking the matter to the Election Commission, what are they hopeful of? What are they asking for in this complaint against the Prime Minister's walk before his voting?
Well, Ankit, a couple of points that have been mentioned in this complaint copy, and I'll read that out for our viewers as well. Since, of course, the first and foremost, the point of that complaint is about the Prime Minister carrying out a quote-unquote roadshow. Now, apparently it says that there was several BJP flags as well that had been put up near the polling booth, which was 500 feet near the polling booth itself. And they have also said that why did the Prime Minister, in fact, was walking in that entire route where the BJP flags had also been put forward. That is one point of the complaint. This is in Gujarati, so I'm just quickly translating for our viewers to understand as well. We're putting out that copy of the complaint exclusively accessed on your screens right now. And of course, the other is talking about several attacks that have been made on Congress candidates that are the allegations that are being leveled by the Congress party. Apart from that, they are also another point of this entire complaint where they say in Ahmedabad, in Ghatlodia, in Vejalpur, several such areas, there are hoardings that have been put forward. There are BJP flags that have been put up, and that's why they're saying that this is another violation. So that's point number 3. And of course, point number 4, they're talking about Bapu Nagar booth, and they're talking about Bapu Nagar booth. That's another area in Ahmedabad. And they have said that in that one person in fact was trying to create ruckus there, and that was supposedly a BJP person as well. Apart from that, of course, these are some of the 4 complaints that are being made by the Congress party in the Election Commission. The first and foremost being the most important one that we see, that the Congress party is claiming that this is the Prime Minister who has violated the model code of conduct by walking. So essentially, even in this complaint, they have stated that he was walking in that entire route where there were BJP flags that had been put forward, and that is what they have taken an objection to. And of course, this is an entire complaint copy that has also been sent to the Election Commission, and we're being told that there was a verbal complaint that has also been made to the Election Commission. There is a delegation, in fact, that had gone to the Election Commission, and even last night we were being told that the Congress party has confirmed that there was a delegation that had gone to flag off this entire event of the Prime Minister, is what the Congress is claiming. And they have also said that particularly about the Prime Minister's going to cast his vote, they have particularly stated that he was in fact walking. He was walking, and that has been mentioned in the complaint. And they have also stated that he in fact got out of the cavalcade and he was walking 500 feet near the polling booth, is something that they have mentioned by themselves. So this really also brings us to the question about why the Congress party has in fact been raising this kind of a question over the Prime Minister merely just going and walking and voting as any normal voter would. And that is what the Congress in fact is now claiming was a violation of the MCC, Ankit.
Absolutely. Priyanka, clearly the Congress party has a number of grumbles which it has put into this letter, which it has filed as a complaint with the Election Commission, most notably being the Prime Minister's walk before he voted. A person who appears to be backing the Congress on this, at least in spirit, is the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee. Let's listen in to what she made of this controversy over the Prime Minister's walk before his vote.
They are the special people. It is the Election Commission duty. As a political party, We abide by the Election Commission. But what Supreme Court said, I do agree, cent for cent. That Election Commission also, there should be some system for nomination of the Election Commission and all this.
He did a road show today.
Election day road show is banned. But for them, they may be excused. This is the basic difference.
Basically, first of all, I would like to say that the Congress has seen a huge defeat before it, and therefore they are now actually in panic, and that is why they are making this kind of complaints. Not only that, but the Congress has somehow always been anti Mr. Modi and anti Gujarat also. And when they see Mr. Modi's popularity of this kind, when people turn up on their terraces to see him, I think it's only a jealousy and probably dislike for Mr. Modi and Gujarat, which is making them make this kind of complaints.
But are you saying then that there is no basis to this, because they are saying that this is an MCC violation, that he was very close to the polling booth and that he was carrying out a roadshow? Is there any kind of response that we will also be looking at in terms of talking to the Election Commission about?
Our legal team will be responding to that, whatever the complaint they have made. But I can only say that the Prime Minister is under SPG security, and his security is of first priority for the whole nation. So I don't think that just because Congress makes complaints, his security can be compromised. And that is the prime requirement of the day. And I'm sure his security personnel have been following the rules to the T.
So you're saying that this is just posturing as of now that the Congress is doing, that there's no basis for it? Is that what the BJP's official stand is?
Yes, the Congress has seen a huge defeat, and that is why they are complaining. I don't see any other valid reason for the complaint.
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है अपने जवानों की शहादत पर, उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की, कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं। शाहीन बाग पर बुलडोजर चलेगा। शाहीन बाग को लेकर जो राजनीति गरमाई रही वो और ज्यादा गरमाएगी, ये बिल्कुल तय है।
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Last post to post, live coverage only on Republic TV.
Motorlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone station is shut, which means all those people who are hoping to go back home. When you look at that crowd,
Mega controversy amid the Mainpuri by-polls. Leveling big allegations, SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav claimed that Uttar Pradesh police are not allowing voters to cast vote.
क्या ब्रीफिंग की गई है पुलिस को, उसका अंदाजा अंदर ही पता लग गया। जो पुलिस को ब्रीफिंग है वो ये है कि समाजवादी पार्टी को वोट ना पड़ने दिया जाए। अभी सुबह से लगातार शिकायतें आ रही हैं। केवल मैनपुरी लोकसभा की शिकायतें नहीं हैं, बल्कि रामपुर विधानसभा में जिस दिन से हम लोग वोट मांग करके आए हैं, जिस दिन से शुरुआत हुई है, उस दिन से प्रशासन लगा हुआ है कि वोट ना पड़ पाए।
Meanwhile, SP leaders stage protests outside Uttar Pradesh Assembly. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Here's getting some breaking updates coming in, and this time from West Bengal. Congress protesting against the state government and the Bengal governor. The visuals of that on the screen as well, viewers. This is what's happening there. We are seeing a lot of presence of the police as well as a protest. A protest is happening there. Now, this is a Congress protest against the state government and Bengal governor in Kolkata. We can see a lot of posters as well, there on your screens as the Congress continues to protest against the state government and the Bengal governor as well in Kolkata as well. A big crowd has gathered outside there in Kolkata. They are demanding answers from the state government. This protest is happening near Raj Bhavan in Kolkata. People coming out in large numbers as well, demanding answers from the state government. And like we are telling you that there seems to be heavy police presence on the streets of Kolkata as well as the Congress protesting against the state government and also the Bengal governor in Kolkata. We are seeing some people also being detained into police buses right now. On that note, let's take a very, very short break, viewers. Very shortly, you will not want to miss the most accurate exit polls on Republic with India's #1 news team. Stay tuned to Republic TV.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
मेरी नजरों से चुना, तेरी हरकतों से सुना। कभी जीती तू, कभी मैं हारा, फिर भी खूबसूरत है ये नजारा, क्योंकि इसमें है गुला।
कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
अमेजिंग स्पेसेस के लिए ग्रीन लैम लैमिनेट्स, कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment inside the Indian territory.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic PMark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who is using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
आज के दिन जब दिल में दर्द है, अपने जवानों की शहादत पर। उसी के साथ साथ जब ये नारे गूंजते हैं तो एक सुकून है, एक हिम्मत है।
मैं इस वक्त जाफराबाद में मौजूद हूं और आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है। कोशिश ये है पुलिस कर्मियों की, अर्धसैनिक बलों की कि यहाँ पर किसी तरह का कोई दंगा ना भड़क पाए।
तो आपको लगातार बता रहे हैं कि किसान कानून वापस हुए हैं और किसान कानून वापस होने के बाद सीधे किसानों के बीच पहुंची हूं और किसानों से ही बात कर रही हूं।
All right, viewers, getting some breaking updates coming in. Let's continue with the breaking news, which has come right from West Bengal. Visuals you can see on your screen, where we can see a lot of anger on the roads of Kolkata, where the Congress is protesting against the state government and the Bengal governor in Kolkata. We're getting some top updates coming in. A heavy police presence also being seen there on the streets of Kolkata. People on the roads holding placards and posters and protesting against the state government. The state government in Kolkata, already the Mamata Banerjee-led government in Kolkata already on a back foot when it comes to some corruption scandals and also cases of scams in the recruitment of teachers. Let's go ahead to Ishan Dev. Ishan Dev, take us through what is happening on the streets of Kolkata as we speak.
Shivangi, the Congress supporters and the Congress leadership in Kolkata, they are demonstrating in front of the Raj Bhavan, and as they started demonstrating there, protesting the capturing of Jhalda municipality in Purulia district. Police action has been initiated, and all the Congress supporters and leaders who were leading the demonstration there, they have been taken into custody. They have been removed from the place. They have been removed from in front of the gate of Raj Bhavan. And you know that in the municipal election in West Bengal, which took place just 6 months back, around 6 months back, at that time Congress got only municipality, that was Jhalda. Jhalda municipality has got 12 seats, and out of 12 Congress got 5 seats, TMC got 5 seats, and 2 other were independent councillors. But one of the Congress councillors whose name was Topon Kandu, he was shot dead before the formation of the municipal board, and thus TMC took hold of the board. And after that, when Congress brought a no confidence motion, and the TMC chairperson was defeated in that no confidence motion, that now again TMC has planted another person from another councillor of TMC fold as a chairperson, which Congress is saying as undemocratic, and they are now protesting in front of the Raj Bhavan right now against that. Shivangi.
All right, thank you, Shandeep, for getting us all the details. Shandeep, live from a Republic Bangla newsroom as dramatic protests are happening. Several Congress workers have also been detained.
Big win for global women's rights. Iran abolishes the morality police after witnessing the anti-hijab protests.
YSRTP Chief Vice Sharbila Padayatra being stopped by the police as she was to resume it today. Vice Sharbila says KCR is one who was using the police to stop her Padayatra. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, a mob thrashed a man with sticks and kicked him brutally on the suspicion of theft.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years. With top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
The Congress candidate Rajendra Parmar was caught in a controversy after videos have gone viral of women dancers are hired to entertain the public.
As India marks Navy Day, mega celebrations in Visakhapatnam.
Karnataka now in Mandya, where there were clashes reported during the Hanuman Jayanti celebrations. This was in Srirangapatna.
93 seats will go for polls on December 5th as phase 2 of polls goes underway. Stay tuned to India's election news headquarters. Plus post to post live coverage only on Republic TV.
Waterlogging has increased in the last 3 to 4 hours. Elphinstone station is shut, which means all those people who are hoping to go back home When you look at that crowd, what's the message that Houston is sending out? There is also anticipation of a few announcements being made. What are your expectations when they both come up on stage? Are you expecting something big? I'm at the Jama Masjid in Bandra and there are thousands of people behind me. Why they are protesting, but the situation is pretty tense. Thousands of people that you see. 4 दिन की रिमांड है, 4 दिन की रिमांड. कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? पत्राचौल स्कैम, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का चार्ज के बारे में क्या बोलना चाहते हैं आप?
Truck has collided with the government bus this morning, causing the government bus to fall to the side of the road and burst into flames. About 10 passengers have been injured who were rushed to the nearby hospital. The terror group has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit employees that are on their target.
This drone was shot down in Taran sector when he crossed the international border and came to the Indian territory and tried to drop this drugs consignment in.
The mandate from the two states.
It's been a high-stakes battle for the Prime Minister.
Who will win, Gujarat and Himachal?
While the opposition was missing in action, the people have given the real mandate.
Will the BJP retain both the states? Is the Aam Aadmi Party even a factor?
Get the earliest peep into the verdict with
Republic PMark exit poll, December the 5th at 6 p.m. It's a 50.51% voter turnout recorded till 3 p.m. in the second phase of polling in the state of Gujarat. As election in Gujarat enters the final hours, will the voting pick up? The Prime Minister casts his vote in Ahmedabad after a walk to the polling booth amidst Modi chants. The Congress now complains to the Election Commission over Prime Minister and Home Minister's walk outside the polling booth. The BJP begins its preparations for 2024. Prime Minister meets with office bearers at the party headquarters. And we are building up to the biggest and the most accurate exit polls on Republic with India's #1 news team. A very good afternoon. You're with us here on Republic, and this is a non-stop rolling coverage of the big elections. The big elections in Gujarat. The biggest news team is getting to you minute-by-minute updates. We are also, remember, building up to that big exit poll with Arnab starting at 6 this evening. And that is where you will see, Abhishek and Rhythm, the first numbers that really come out. Because people have been asking Abhishek that, which party has the edge? So I think, Rhythm, by the evening today, you will have clarity about what happens in Gujarat, not just Gujarat, also Himachal. So we here at Republic, remember, are doing all the number crunching for you. And it's been a day of non-stop controversies. We've seen the Prime Minister, we've seen the Home Minister in Ahmedabad casting their ballot. Yep. And Abhishek, as always, you have controversy, the Congress running to the Election Commission, complaining, saying that this was a violation of the Model Code of Conduct. But Abhishek, what is it clearly that we'll be looking at in the next few hours, building up to that big coverage with Arnab starting at 6?
For one, Deepthi, the pace of polling has picked up in the last couple of hours. In fact, there were reports that suggested that in the second phase of polling also in Gujarat, like in the first phase, the polling was a little down as compared to 2017. But it seems that some makeup has happened, a makeover has happened over the last couple of hours, and polling has become brisk, and we are told that it has crossed 50% mark by 3 p.m., which is a good number, which means that insofar as the second phase of polling is concerned, it might report little more voting as compared to the first phase. Though I'm still not sure whether this would break the last assembly polling mark, in 2017 mark. So that is one. The second, of course, the exit poll numbers that we are bringing, Deepti, and viewers need to know this. We have our own survey, our own team deployed by way of PMark that are going to bring us the numbers. Plus, of course, two more exit polls, the Metris and the Chanakya. All these three polls we are getting. So poll of polls and, of course, our own work done by the team of PMark, who got all the 5 states right last time that they did with us. So I think in that sense, the viewers should look up to the next couple of hours led by Arnab Goswami and, of course, you, me and Rhythm from the studios, and the exit poll numbers start 6:30 p.m.
Yes, I do see Harsha, Madhurima and Priyanka. Remember, our best eyes and ears on the ground. Because this is an election that matters, remember, not just for the BJP, Rhythm. This is also a relevance test for the Congress party. This is also about the Aam Aadmi party, you know, whether it actually will be able to make any dent, if it will be able to eat into, Congress's vote. Is that going to be that X factor? No one knows. And before we actually go back to our team of reporters, we'll also have a panel of guests that just joins us, Rhythm. But what is it that you would be looking forward in these numbers?
Most good evening, Deepti, Abhishek, and all our reporters who are joining us, because today we are going to first, Deepti, be looking at the numbers. Let's just tell our viewers the Republic PM ARQ exit poll is the only poll, Abhishek, also that got the 5 state elections spot on in every state. As Gujarat is completing voting, we are going to stay tuned to all the closest numbers and the real results that will be coming on Republic. And as we wait for that 6 p.m. mark before those opinion poll results are out, I also want to go across to our reporters. Madhurima, if I can first come to you, since morning you've been tracking leaders. What is the sense you are getting? How much voting has happened where you are? What are the issues you've been speaking to people that they've been highlighting today?
Well, Rhythm, I have been reporting from Ranap, where the Prime Minister had come and exercised his right to vote. It was indeed, an electric morning. People, even in the chilly temperature early, had poured out to have a glimpse of the Prime Minister and, of course, to cast their vote as well. But the issues here, the first being the trust factor. They are all deep in trust with the Prime Minister. When I spoke about the freebies and the Delhi model that they want to bring in, the Kejriwal government, the Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi party want to bring in, I got very unique answers that they do not want the Shaheen Bagh model, but they are happy with the Gujarat model. That was, that was the Prime Minister's idea when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. So this is what I have been hearing the entire day. The kind of reception the Prime Minister received was unprecedented, where people from nearby vicinities also poured in, making it very difficult for the security officials as well, because they wanted to had a glimpse of, see a glimpse of their Prime Minister and their own leader, like Priyanka has been highlighting. They relate to him as Narendra Bhai over here in Gujarat, and that is what we saw, Rhythm. Also the issues, one being Hindutva, UCC, and then the security in Gujarat. The women are feeling very safe, and development. As far as when we spoke about freebies, they said that Gujarati believe in earning what they enjoy. This is the sentiment that we're getting from
Madhurima, hold on to your thoughts.
Where people,
we are getting a breaking news development. The Congress party continues to be at it, and Jignesh Mewani, via Twitter, I believe, as of now, that in his constituency, he's contesting from Vadgam, which is a reserved SC seat in North Gujarat. He has said that in Fatehpur village, according to him, BJP workers effectively have captured a booth. They are indulging in voting, fake voting. And this is being reported by Jignesh Mewani of the Congress party. He's a Congress candidate from Vadgam constituency in Banaskantha in North Gujarat, and he is saying that in the Fatehpur village in his constituency, there are BJP workers who have gotten inside a booth and this is from some back window. Remember, Congress party earlier in the day objected to Prime Minister walking up to the polling booth and walking out rhythm. And so it seems a case of sour grapes, is it, that the Congress party keeps finding issues. But of course, this is, if an official complaint is made, the Election Commission should be looking into it. Jignesh Mewani for now has tagged the Election Commission official Twitter handle, as can be seen from the screen. The tweet is up there on the screen, and we have guests joining us to take this story forward. Also, viewers, just to let you know, this is not just about Gujarat. Deepti, we are going to get Himachal numbers as well.
Yes.
And that's going to be important. Politically significant states, both Rhythm, you know, Gujarat is Prime Minister's home state, as also, of course, of the Home Minister. And Himachal happens to be his karm bhumi in many ways. He was in charge of Himachal Pradesh in late 90s. So that personal connect is there. Important states politically for the Prime Minister, for the BJP. And of course, as politics stand in India today, for the fortunes of the Congress party as well going forward.
Yes, so let's say good evening to our panel of guests. Sandeep Ghosh is an author and political commentator, along with Dr. Sandeep Shastri, who is the Vice Chancellor at the Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal. He's also a political analyst. Pankaj Sharma is a senior journalist. He's a former media advisor to the Chief Minister Kamal Nath. Ravi Srivastava is also a political analyst, and he bats for the Aam Aadmi Party often. Good evening to all of you, gentlemen. I want to take my first question with Pankaj. Pankaj, why is the Congress already spooked? You know, bang in the middle of the second phase of polling, you say the Prime Minister walking to cast his ballot is a violation of the Model Code of Conduct.
Everyone can understand the meaning of his walking. I mean, it was practically a road show. Prime Minister flouting all EC norms. Desperation is clearly seen. So if Congress is raising this with the Election Commission, Congress has a right to raise these points, because never ever any Prime Minister held any road show while polling is going on. So this is something very surprising.
Where is the road show? I didn't see any banners. I didn't see any flags. The Prime Minister, got off his car and he is walking. Let's try and put out those images, I think, once for our viewers, Pankaj. And let me see if Ravi actually agrees with you. Ravi, will you join the cause with the Congress party on that?
Prime Minister is a serial offender as far as such kind of optics is concerned. Earlier elections, if you recall, he was holding the BJP insignia on his shirt and kurta, and he was walking down the road after voting. It's nothing but a simple emotional blackmailing or an emotional connect with the voters, just to show that what he has done. I think he should not have done it, because he is the Prime Minister of the country. He can do it more gracefully and what you call as a proper way. It is not required to make a kind of gestures and all that to the public standing by. They are there just to greet him and all. But I think this kind of creating optics is absolutely unfair and unwarranted. He has been doing it not once, and then before that going to mother's place, seeking her blessings and all.
I want to take one comment with Sandeep Ghosh and Dr. Shastri, and then we'll go to our reporters. Ravi, just about yesterday, when we had the MCD polls, you had Arvind Kejriwal along with his family, his mother and father walking to the polling booth. Is that a road show, Sandeep? Is that a road show? Is that a violation of the Model